What's happening with it? Another great existence. Know what I'm saying? Pretty sure some of y'all like, yo, bro, what's up? What's happening with it? All right. We about to get into something. We about. Now, give me a second. I dropped 78 pounds on that. Right. Disclosure day, right? You're gonna get your disclosure day. Disclosure. Okay? Now, there's a movie called Disclosure Day, right? What? Yeah, there's a movie called Disclosure. It came out, what is that, July 12th? Yeah, and it was on a Friday. Friday stand for a Friday, which, you know, things be frying up due to the technology of their skin. I ain't tell you that. Somebody else did. Anyways, right? We're gonna let everybody come inside this galactic live right here. We're gonna actually get to speaking about that. Okay? Because I'm gonna say this. A lot of people that seen Disclosure Day, they really keep in their mind and their mouth. That's what they doing. Okay? We're gonna get to speaking about that. All right? We're gonna definitely get to speaking about that, or whatever the case may be. The name is Why. That's the name, okay? All right. All you got to do is use the technology of your mind. Right. And the name appear in front of you. It's kind of funny that you just went to your own mind that doesn't have any memory of me, and you called me a name that's not my name. That's some brazy tech. It just lets you know how the technology of the left mind move. Right. It'll go in his mind and think like, oh, it's this person right here. No. You don't have any experience with me to know my name, okay? All right. You can go over there towards the page on YouTube. It'll tell you exactly who my name is. There you go. You can greet me as that. Please don't greet me as an AI name that has nothing to do with me, okay? Remember, in this world, right, you don't have memories with me. You understand that? All right. So let's not play the AI game like y'all know me. Y'all don't know me. Oh, they actually do know you, but they wanted you to be something else. Thank you. All right, let's get into this galactic thing, right? Show you a couple of things about AI programming, predictable things, you know what I'm saying? More importantly, we're gonna get into the disclosure day. Okay. A lot of people are afraid of what's coming, but it's not what's coming. It's already being consciously uploaded within our consciousness. This is something that we can't block. This is something that we can't run away from. It has everything to do with consciousness. If you is, I could break it down to you from a simple form. A conscious upload comes to a conscious being upgraded, right? All consciousness, you know, may not be upgraded, but you are going to go through a conscious upload for all of us as one to experience this experience that's already here. You understand? Now, the thing is, in the consciousness of being a human, you would simply say, I have control over my reality. I have control over. You can say that. You can say that. But we understand as so-called human beings don't want to just control their reality. They prefer to control the reality and the experiences of all minds in order to program everybody to believe that the consciousness of humanity is the only conscious that exists, and it's not the only conscious that exists. Okay? We have all been programmed to be something outside of ourselves. Okay? Some people chose not to continue the consciousness of being a human. The reason why that is, being a human has many flaws with itself. Don't look at the people on the outside. Thank you. Because when it comes to being a conscious, right, you want to understand what your conscious and the information and data that the technology of your mind is holding is that, is it going to be true to you? That's what you have to understand. Because what happens is, If it's not true to you, it's not true to yourself, then pretty much you're a conscious that is outside of yourself. You would be a traitor towards yourself. In order to be a traitor towards your nation, in order to be a traitor towards every other system that's being a self-infiltrating system. Okay? So, Disclosure Day has came out. The reason why Disclosure Day has came out is because on the simple fact, it's more like a discovery. Something that was pretty much already here, but pretty much making you understand what's here. Understand? Human beings as a whole, when you go inside the technology of their minds, there's many different factors that should not be playing out, but due to free will, you're allowed to do certain things, but it's not actually designed for it to continue. That's what you have to understand. Okay? So, let's just start from the very top. When you look inside the technology of the minds, you would simply ask the question, what is the image of the Christ? The technology of your mind go blank. Thank you. Furthermore, when it comes towards the image of the Christ, you human beings tried to re-engineer the image of the Christ that it was. You basically took a Christ that was here, and there's many of them. You tried to reprogram the technology of their minds and make them into human beings. That's not what they are. So, with that being said, things have to come to light, come to truth. That way, humans as a whole can understand what world you are in. You're not in a world of, oh, this is it. No. Okay? For a lot of human beings within the comment section, you will see that the fear that is uploading within the mind. Furthermore, I really don't care about the fear because on the simple fact, I have seen many dreams with human beings within it. And the fear that they have, that's already here. Okay? This is not a game like, we don't know what you're talking about. This guy's on drugs. He's crazy. Usually the AI programs play like that because they already know what's here. Okay? So it's already here. It's just giving you a disclosure. That way when it appears, you understand with the technology of your mind what is going on. Okay? All right. Let's get into this. He said, Jordan said, I remember the TikTok video that you posted on your channel talking about how mirrors communicate with you, and that was really deep. Yeah, mirrors actually do communicate with you consciously. Most people don't understand that, but let's touch on that before we get to this real quick. When it comes to a mirror, you would simply say as a human, you have been programmed to believe that the mirror is not speaking to you. You know what that means? You have never been programmed with yourself to speak to yourself. Now, I'm going to show you how a third dimensional being moves and how it's completely unaware with itself. Watch. The technology of your ears, right? What do they deal with? You would say sound. It's more than that. But the technology of your ears are connected to your mind. The things that I speak to you, you can remember. So that means that your ears and your mind are connected, okay? Now, for most, right, this is kind of odd if you ask me. You've been programmed not to speak to yourself, right? Okay, now watch this. When it comes to people that's on the outside of you, you listen to them. When you listen to them, they speak to you. When they speak to you, whatever they said got transferred from your ears now into your mind. Now, let me ask you a question. Every time they speak to you and tell you to do something, you obey. Watch. You obey. Now, I'm going to show you this. When it comes to a characteristic of a slave would never speak to herself. Do you know why? It's not able to program itself, listen to its own voice, and obey with action. A slave listens to everyone else. It would never listen to the voice of itself. So a lot of people don't understand. You have a characteristic that is very identical to a slave. A slave would agree with me and say, now I listen to everybody else. I don't listen to my voice. That is the characteristic that is installed within majority of 95% of people. Okay? So in order to complete your lifespan, you have to listen to the inner voice of yourself. When you are speaking within the mirror, right, you're basically viewing your reflection, your digital avatar. The voice that you hear is your inner self, requesting you to do certain things in order to uplift your life. So the reflection that's in front of you is speaking to you, telling you this is what we need to get done. But understand that most human beings have been programmed not to trust themselves. So the best thing to do is to be a traitor to self. Listen to everything that's on the outside of you. Obey everything on the outside of you and never obey nothing that is within you. Now you have been programmed mentally and mentally challenged that when someone else is speaking to themselves, you would simply look at them like, there's something wrong with them. No, there is something wrong with you. You have a characteristic that is very identical to a slave. A slave would never listen to his inner voice. The reason why that is, the mind has been programmed to only obey others on the outside. How are you not a slave if you're repeating the characteristics of a slave? So the reflection that's in the mirror is you. You have to listen to your voice in order to program your mind. That way your mind is not being programmed by everybody else and you disobeying yourself. What's the point in doing that? This was a self journey, not, oh, everybody else journey. No. You can do that, but majority of people are miserable within that world. A lot of people lock themselves away from the access of actually accessing the technology of their mind. You understand? Let me show you how bad the world has got. One time, I was at a certain place. You would say a job. This is an experience for me, okay? I just want to pay attention to what's going on. I was sitting here speaking to myself. That's what I naturally just do. I don't care if I'm in front of people, behind people. I don't care, right? And a human being came up to me and told me, oh, are you on the phone? What you have to understand that this is a third dimensional character. The technology of his own mind doesn't understand how to speak to itself, how to command itself, and how to obey itself. It doesn't have any inner intelligence of inner self. It doesn't have that. So the first thing is to act like an AI and to act as the thoughts of AI. My thoughts, watch, my thoughts is telling me you're talking on the phone. There's no earpiece in my head. There's no earpiece inside my ear. There's no phone in my hand. So human beings have been programmed that communication only works on electronic device. Damn. That's what you have been programmed to believe in. That is a great system for you because it keeps you out of the system of actually knowing yourself and communicating with yourself. It's not hurting me. It's only hurting you. And I'm just understanding the knowledge of human beings as a whole. You think communication starts off with a machine. No. When you were born, your mother and father spoke to you. There was no electronic device to do that. You are the device to communicate. The electronic devices that are on the outside of you are nothing more than duplicates of what you are. That's it. If you wasn't designed, the technology that's on the outside of you would have never been designed. The technology that's on the outside of you is nothing more than a replica of you. You're the original technology. But understand, you have not been programmed to understand the technology that you are. You look at it as I'm a human. A human conscious will never understand the technological mind of its inner self. You are technology. You have been programmed to believe that you are a human consciousness. A human consciousness is nothing more than a self-destroyer towards itself. Pay attention to the setup. You identify as an R word. When you identify as an R word, the R word doesn't prove that that's your truthful identity. When it comes towards your DNA proves exactly who you are. So what you have to understand, that's a self-deception, self-discrimination, self-segregation. Because on a simple fact, you're not identifying with the inner self. You're identifying with ideological things that come from other people's minds. Pay attention to the setup. When you were inside your mother's womb and you came towards this world, did you know about race? No. So pretty much the technology of your mind has been infiltrated by other consciousnesses that are outside of you based on the belief system. You're infiltrated. You can stay locked down. I'm just watching how much information and data that pretty much where you would get at, how your lifespan move, what would happen to you based on it, you being a lie to yourself. In order to be a lie to everybody on the outside of you, you have to be a lie to yourself. Understand? Have a nice day. All right, let's get into this real quick. We're about to get into this. We about to get into this? Yes. We got to get into this real quick. Let me see something real quick. Some people said, watch this. He said, not gonna lie. Right, that's the same thing I say. First few times I watched you, I didn't understand. You can never understand. You can never understand until you have an inner stand with yourself. Okay? All right. A thing, but you are starting to make sense to me. Can I ask what you think the purpose of life is? That sounds more like a self thing. Can I ask you a question? Did you go to yourself and ask yourself, what is the purpose of your life and your life journey? Start right there. The question that you ask, I can't have an answer to. The reason why that is because when it comes to human beings, we're unaligned. We're totally unaligned. So, purpose would be the purpose of yourself. You understand? You're all right. That is a great question that you asked. There's nothing wrong with you asking a question, though. But that question sounds like an inner self question. If I was to give you, what I would know, 9 times out of 10, it probably wouldn't align with you. Just being honest. Okay? So that question that you asked right there, right? You ask yourself and see where yourself leads you to. All right. Thank everybody for coming to the live. Thank all the likes, shares, all that. Communication, all that. Right? We about to get into something galactic. Now, like I had said again, this what we be speaking about is the reaction of Disclosure Day. Most people are going to ask me, yo, bro, did you see it yet? There's a reason why certain ones will tell you, I don't have to watch it. I already know about it already. When you know, you already know. Now, disclosure, just disclosure, and then day, okay? It's kind of very identical to the movie called Independence Day. I would say that Disclosure Day is more of a revealance. The things that you think are not real or maybe a conspiracy theory. This is to give you a conscious update, a conscious upload to let you know, yeah, this is actually right here upon the earth, okay? Now, understand this. If you fear, right, there's something that you've been doing upon this earth, and that's why you probably fear. Because, let me show you. It's just like your child, right? It's not a fear thing, because it's kind of different with children. I'll show you how fear gets loaded up so you can understand, okay? It's like you having a child, right? You see your son doing something that he ain't got no business doing, right? He don't know that you is watching him the whole time, okay? Now, once you come up to him, you're like, son, what you doing? Then he look up at you like, oh, shit. Oh, damn. Oh. That's the experience that's inside this video. You understand? A lot of human beings thought like, we could take this world from someone, we can pretty much murder them and get away with it. And in this reality that we are all understanding consciously, you can do that. But for every decision, there's an impact. And that's what a lot of humans are afraid of. They are afraid of the response that will happen. Because if you pay attention consciously, okay? You see many different cases, right? Where you have a certain image, right? And you have other people that have a certain image, and they feel as though they can take the image, destroy the image, create it into something that is not, okay? And what's starting to happen is they are not understanding y'all collectively. You all are being tested. Your courtrooms are being tested. Your spirituality is being tested. The physicality is being tested. Reality is being tested. Fakeality is being tested. Consciousness is being tested. Let me show you. When it comes to the one case, right, where you talk about, what's the one case called? They got Austin and Carmelo, right? Do you understand that it's nothing more than a conscious test to see what the next generation of them is going to do? That's all that was about. You do understand that, right? For their conscious, they may look at it as an R word or anything else. What you have to understand in this world, their generation has been already tested already. That's what you're not understanding. You all are trapped in the mind of the R word and it's this and it's that. When everyone know, like, no, they being tested. So imagine someone coming in, giving you a scenario just to watch how it's going to play out. You have all decision, you have all free will in this decision, right? And everyone's looking at it as, is this person's fault? Just hold on. So all the interactions come down to one person. That's it. Okay. You people may want to really look at yourselves real good. Now you have another case with another one, right? And pretty much she was on a boat with y'all too. And it looks like, being honest, it looks like he was murdered too. Okay? And so you all don't understand y'all being tested and y'all are failing miserably. Another thing that we understand consciously is that the images that you use in order to murder or change the image into making it look like a slave and then putting it back on the television, it's nothing more than what we understand is that you're trying to fight for conscious that has already been liberated. It's not that you're gaining ground with the conscious, you're just exposing what your conscious is about. That's it. It doesn't come down to a R word. It doesn't come down to color. None of that. It's the reason why a lot of people are being told the image of the Christ is eyes of flame, hair of wool, skin of bronze. And as we go deeper consciously, we're starting to understand that when it comes towards humans, human beings want the original Christ dead. You don't want Christ to live. You don't want Christ to have children because it goes outside of the consciousness of being human. Do you understand? So when it came towards humans as a whole, that's what you were fighting. What you have to understand is when it comes to the second coming of Christ, right? The image that you tried to re-engineer with inside the technology of the minds. You took Christ as a child. You programmed him to be inside your school. You taught him things that has nothing to do with him in order to empower your world. Let me show you. Let's just say I know who you are, right? And let's just say I take you through, I take your conscious, right? And I re-engineer your consciousness. I basically take you through programs like school, let's say church. What you have to understand that many things that have happened is that even with school, you're teaching a conscious, right? And the thing about it is, how could you teach this conscious if you're not the same thing as this conscious? That's what you understand. Parents have also sold their children out as well. Okay? We know. Okay? Furthermore, when it comes towards school, right? School is pretty much a program. I know what you're going to say. No, it's education. How is it education if it comes down to indoctrination? Let me show you what you don't understand that's in front of you that you actually do understand, but most human beings don't want to talk about it. When it comes towards U.S. history, his story, right? What you have to understand is that, can I ask you a question? When the so-called black boy that you call a black boy, which is something way more if he actually understands himself, you would simply say to him that in your U.S. history books, when it comes to certain stories like slavery or whatever that's how you name it, right? Let me ask you a question. When it comes to a conscious being upgraded or downgraded, right? If I give you a story, right? And in the story, I tell you that pretty much the people that came here with Christopher Columbus, I tell you that these are your people, which we all understand those are not our people. Those people were colonized from a land that you call so-called Africa. But when it comes towards Africa, Africa is not actually Africa because Africanus is the one that basically came over there and tried to re-engineer the consciousness. That's what you have to understand. Let's start off with consciousness first. You have to convert this in order to make the body do. Okay? Now, let's take a young black boy, let's take a young white boy, so you can understand what's happening before them. Okay? When it goes to U.S. history, you have to understand that when it comes to characteristics, when it comes to consciousness as a whole, they go hand in hand with each other. Okay? So when you look at U.S. history, you would basically have to, I kind of find this kind of strange. You would basically have to go through U.S. history, right? And when you go through U.S. history, you have to pass it. Okay? What you're not understanding is that the U.S. history come down to a memory system. Do you understand that? The memory system, right? This memory system is from someone else's consciousness. The memory system is bought by your U.S. government. So how is this all real? I'm making you into something that you're totally unaware of. Pay attention. You take a black boy, you take a white boy, you give him U.S. history, okay? You would simply say that U.S. history doesn't make you into a slave. Okay. How is it that U.S. history wouldn't make you into a slave if I'm giving you the memory to be a slave? Everything comes down to consciousness. Everything comes down to memory. So am I teaching you how to be a slave? And then now injecting your consciousness with the memory of a slave? Because how many so-called black boys actually want to conquer the world and be things or be something with themselves? Zero. Because after they pass, right, the technology of their conscious remain in the past as a slave. You understand? Now, you take the white boy, you have Christopher Columbus. This is all narratives. This is not actually true. He's not a discoverer. He doesn't discover anything. There's been many natives here. We could test our own DNA and it would debunk everything that Christopher Columbus even believed into. You didn't discover this land. We were already here. Okay? So consciously, what is happening is one believe that it is an immigrant, that it came from someone else. But if it tests its own DNA, it will understand, oh, you're not from the other island. You're from this island right here. What they wanted to do was wipe your memory of you knowing your own land, knowing your own people. I know. I've been through your system to know. The difference is me, I can play like a pawn to make it seem as though, oh, yeah, we got you. So I can get to know everything. That's what you were doing to kids. Those are children. So don't ever tell me in this to re-engineer and customize the minds into being a slave by giving it a slave system. You understand? All right. Let's get into this real quick. Anyways, move along, bro.
But the scariest part about this experiment is that you've been putting on helmets your entire life. Is the helmets you're...
Now, I want you to watch something so you can understand something. When it comes to knowing of yourself, you have to be a follower to yourself. Now, I'm going to show you how people have been programmed to follow other people and while we're in the world that we're in today. Then it will lead into disclosure, okay? I am speaking, okay? Please stop trying to get my attention. I am speaking, okay? If it's aligned, I will give you my attention. There's no need on doing that on the screen, all right? There's no need to do that. It's going to be okay, all right? If you're upset that I'm not giving you my attention right now in this moment, you have to understand that the device that we're communicating with is a motionless device, okay? There's no need for you to express you getting upset, all right? All right, let's get into this real quickly. So people can understand the reflection of yourself. Just being honest. Yeah. All right.
Well, tough time of life, just know you're not in it by yourself. We're going through this thing called life together. Let's get it. This video should terrify you, because by the end of it, you're gonna realize that they were doing it to you too. So this dude is part of an experiment, but he doesn't know it. He ends up in a random elevator with helmets on the floor. And then something crazy happens. This dude comes in and puts on a helmet. And homeboy looks a little bit confused. But then another woman comes in and she puts on a helmet. And then somebody else comes in and he puts on a helmet. Now he's really bugging out. What he does next is where things get really interesting. Check this out. He looks around and he finally decides to fold and puts on a helmet in an elevator for no damn reason. Now, the reason why he did this is because of something psychologists call social proof. It means that you look to other people to determine how to act. And yeah, I know, everybody...
Now, let me show you. The reason why that just played out is because of this. When the technology of the left mind and the right brain and the pineal gland that actually brings them into connection, when they are separate, right? When you decalcify the pineal gland, you block it out from its right side of its consciousness. So the only access that it has is the technology of the left mind. The left mind, right, is like a fresh new sheet of paper. It's like a baby, consciously. It doesn't know anything. It has to be taught, understand? And so what happens is with a lot of people is that they use the technology of their eyes, right? And the people on the outside of them, right, are doing things that's on the outside of them. That's manipulating technology of the mind, right? Gaining ground, gaining control in order to make you a decision, right, from what others are doing around you. You're not making your own self-decisions. You're not. That shows you that pretty much people are very predictable. Long as I decalcify the pineal gland, block you out from the right side of your consciousness, when you are in connection with the right side of your consciousness, you're going to watch things first. Then, as you watch, you are going to generate question. Why is this playing out in front of me? Then, as you watch reality, all you would get is a self-answer. For me, I wouldn't have put the helmet on. The reason why that is, we're in an elevator. I'm just basically watching what people are doing. I'm going to generate a question and pretty much ask, hey, why y'all got helmets on? Setups. That's how you know you're in connection with yourself. You would simply ask a question, hold on, I just got on the elevator. There are about 4 helmets that are on the ground. People come inside the elevator and put the helmets on. What are you all getting prepared for? You're questioning the reality around you. Others don't question the reality around you. You follow. Do you understand? That is 95% of people. 95% of people do not have access to the right side of their brains. The reason why that is because when it comes to humanality, what you have to understand is that if I want to convert you into a conscious, I had to block out the right side of your consciousness. That way you don't have access to it in order to question humanality. Thank you. Okay? Okay, let's get into this.
Claims that they wouldn't do this. You would never put on the helmet, right? Well, that's what they all say. But the scariest part about this experiment is that you've been putting on helmets your entire life. The only difference is the helmets you were putting on were not physical. Replace the word helmet with belief and ask yourself, did you choose that belief? Or did you just follow the people around you?
Is that you?
Of course it's me.
Can't you tell? No, not if we all look the same.
I don't.
Well, we are Krill. We are meant to look the same.
Not me, Bill. There's only one of me in all the world. I am one in a trillion.
Where are you going?
Leave me! I want to be free, Bill!
There's no such thing as free will. Come on, less thinking, more swarming.
I'm sick of swarming.
We've been swarming all our lives. Sometimes, Will, it's like you've got a mind of your own.
Tell me, Bill, what lies beyond the swarm?
More swarm.
And then?
Some more swarm.
And then?
Will, there's nothing but swarm. We are swarm without end.
Everything's got an end.
See? I am here. That is not a happy end.
It stands to reason, Bill. If I swim against the swarm, I must eventually reach the end of the world. Yeah. Oh. So this is all we are. Lunch. We spent our whole lives not knowing the truth. Goodbye, Krill World.
And that's our introduction right there. See, the people that can't understand what we're doing here, we're not trying to get people to believe in anything.
It's not belief. It's just more of consciousness. Everybody has been programmed to believe that they're all one thing. What I would simply say to you is that that's nothing more than a construct. Where's the originality within consciousness? Where's the originality of it? If we all been programmed to believe we're one thing. And then when we have a higher conscious that speaks up and debunk everything we believe into, the technology of the left mind has only been programmed. You don't have access to your right brain. You have been programmed to fight against yourself. You are thinking you're fighting against me. I'm nothing more than a reflection in front of you. Right. And when you fight, only thing my consciousness is doing is watching the information and data of your mind fight against the right side of your consciousness. That's it. It's a belief system. A belief system also comes with a characteristic system as well. Do you understand that? Your belief system is the one that is locking the technology of your mind down. It's not that I'm trying to actually, make you come out your belief system. I'm not doing that. I would never want to invade on your consciousness to make you even believe that you are who you are. I would never do that. I will only put it in front of you, right, to watch the technology of your consciousness and see how you will operate with yourself. That's it. Some people have even been programmed to believe like, oh, you're trying to pull me away from what I know. No, I'm not. I'm a reflection of you that is watching your consciousness and putting self things in front of you to see how you interact with your inner self. The characteristics that pop out is the character that overrided who you truly are. That's it. I'm just showing you. You think I'm here to liberate you and save you? That's not, for my journey, that's not what I selected. That's what a lot of people believe that's what I am, but I would tell you, I am not the savior of these so-called people. I'm only the savior of myself. That's it. How do I know that? Because the technology of your mind, brain, holds memory. Are you holding the memory of others that are on the outside of you, or are you actually holding the memory of yourself? Because the technology of the mind actually holds the memory of self, or do you hold the memory of everyone else? That is the self journey that you have to complete. That has nothing to do with me. Let's get into it, baby.
No, we're just trying to get you to think outside the box so you can recognize the reality that we live in today. And everything is not what you were taught in school. That's why, most of the NPCs out there that can't understand, y'all are part of the problem. You're part of the matrix. And for us, I'm learning this too, man. There's a lot of people that lash out in our type of community. They say we're low IQ. They say we're stupid. But the things that we talk about come into fruition very, very often. And I'm not saying it's everything, but that's why I do appreciate y'all, the ones that think different outside the box, and we share these moments together. I'm pretty sure y'all got the message, but let's get back into it.
And this is exactly what a real vampire looks like.
You're very confident.
I'm very confident.
You see it so easily. Why?
Because I believe it.
That man here, and let me tell you why. What she said it with so much confidence the first time. But if you keep going on, listen, we can't keep interrupting. If you want, you got to understand that you're dealing with an image of what's in your child. And this child won't be under plan when you hold as a key go in the grave. When she say something, we done told you what's happening. You deal with a little black kid, and that'll be a kid you'll answer with a lot of confidence. Leave that alone.
Yo, did you see that? That was a young Venus Williams. Very confident.
Now let's just pay attention to that interaction. This is a child, right? The individual that is on the outside, you can call him whatever identity that you want to call him, but I know exactly what it is in front of her. The thing about this whole situation is that this is an innocent child that has a lot of confidence within them. What you have to understand is that the individual that's on the outside of them don't understand consciously how confidence works. The reason why that is, pay attention to the setup so you can understand, okay? The reason why he's questioning her confidence is because he doesn't have the memory to know what confidence is. You understand what I'm saying? So, with that being said, if he understands what confidence is within him, then he would basically identify with the confidence that is within her. What you have to understand is that you know how when two minds say the same thing at the same time, the reason why they're saying the same thing at the same time is because the both of these consciousnesses have the same conscious memory in order to align the technology of their consciousness and the words that they're going to speak within each other. It's called self-discovery. You are looking at it as, how did we just say the same thing at the same time? The technology of your minds had the same memory in order to speak the memory into existence. Did you understand that? When I paused the video was at 444 setups, okay? Understand the message, right? Now, the conscious that's on the outside of her cannot identify what confidence is. If it could identify what confidence is, it would not question the confidence that is in front of it. Do you understand? This is how deep this is consciously. If me and you pay attention, let's say I say I'm beautiful, right? And you say you're not beautiful, you're ugly. What you have to understand consciously is when you say ugly, right? That is that your mind is holding on to ugly. You're only projecting what you are in the inside to the next individual. It doesn't work though, because what you're doing is you're projecting something in order to plug the conscious into your belief system. That's it. You believe that you're ugly. I know that I'm beautiful. So let me ask you a question. Knowing and believing, what system stands and remains? Am I seeking for validation from others when it comes to my beauty? I would never do that. The reason why that is because of this. If I seek beauty, if I seek from validation from you, then pretty much I'm giving you power. Validation is within the inside. Confidence is within the inside. This is something that only yourself can teach you. When yourself teach you, the technology of the consciousness can identify what confidence is. Understand that he can't understand what it is. That's why he's questioning, like, How is she so confident? How is she so young and she's so confident? That's sad. Because if you can understand himself, if you have confidence, then you understand what this child is doing in front of you. Thank you. Okay? All right, let's get into the data points, baby. All right, thank you so much. You're welcome.
Her abilities, and this energy vampire was trying to take it from her.
Why?
That is exactly what energy vampires do. They don't come at you with fangs, they come at your hopes and dreams. Luckily for Venus, she had Blade on her side, her father. And we all know how her story turned out. She became a legend and a multiple Grand Slam winner. Just imagine how differently her life could have turned out if she let the vampires get into her head. Energy vampires are everywhere. But when you see them for what they truly are, well, then they lose all their power.
We are living amongst nightwalkers, blood suckers. I am under the suspicion that the niggas in the run club are vampires. Hit me up. I go to the run club today. The niggas say, welcome to immortality. I said, what? He said, welcome to the run club, brother. That ain't what you said. All of these niggas is in top physical condition. Don't none of these niggas got no kids. These niggas don't sweat when they run. If you ask these niggas what they do for a living, they won't tell you. We running past a building, and he said, that been here since the 1800s. I said, what, you was here when they built it? Nigga said, this nigga funny. Yo, we getting down to the last stride, and I'm thinking to myself, damn, I wish I had a water. Nigga come right up behind me. Yo, you need a drink? I said, how'd you know? He said, I read your mind. I said, ooh. These niggas know I know. After the run, they talking about some, oh yeah, we going for drinks after. I said, ha. I started walking to my car. Nikos Michelson ass nigga come up behind me. Yo, how was the run? I said, oh, negative. Yeah. Hypertension run all through my family. Very salty blood. Got a cousin with no legs because of it. No fruit in my diet. No pineapples. You mean? Chitlins every now and then.
Wow.
I don't think my blood's too good.
Wow.
He said, damn. That's unfortunate. I said, back away, blood sucker, and got in my car. I'm trying to tell y'all, these motherfuckers too nice, too positive, too motivating to not be eating people. I'm trying to tell y'all.
If you're not paying attention, the latest Steven Spielberg movie that's going to be released this Friday, June 12th, feels more like a preparation film. And why do I say that? Because the movie Disclosure Day is about UFOs and aliens and has a lot of eerie similarities to the alien files that were just dropped recently. And in another eerie similarity to what some Congress people have claimed.
I'm going to say this, and I'm going to let this finish uploading real quick. Sorry to interrupt. I want to say this. In this movie, right, that is a conscious upload that a lot of people have to understand consciously. The images that you see within the movie called Disclosure, a lot of people were saying it doesn't look like AI. It looked like this is like real. I just want to say that, okay? Some people, when they watched the movie, they said it didn't look like it was AI. It looked like these beings were actually acting this completely out on camera, okay? So we're going to leave it like that, right? Let this roll out. And then after that, we will actually go into great detail about this, okay? What I would simply say to you, if you are watching Disclosure Day and some reason fear comes upon you, what I would simply say to you is that get your life right, okay? Fear can tell you something about yourself. It's not like to shut you down or to hurt you. Fear, if you understand intelligently, right? Fear can actually tell you, yo, the life that you live in is the reason why you're in fear. Thank you. It's not, I'm going to lock you down and keep you in. No, it's not that. It's just as what I told you. You know, when you have a child, right? And it's not about fear. Listen to me. Your child doing something outside of what they're supposed to do, right? The father comes up to a child, what you doing, son? And he looks up at his son like, oh, you caught me. Do you see what I'm saying? That's what's going on. And a lot of people not understanding the fear is trying to tell you, let go of your old life. It's not to lock you down in it. It's to let you know, let go of your old life. Okay? You have been warned. Okay? This is not something to joke around right now. We are literally in the 6th dimension of consciousness, and people don't even understand by the symbol of the ending of your years. Okay? We're going to the 7th dimension, 8th dimension, 9th dimension. When we get to the 9th dimension, what happens?
Steven Spielberg himself made the claim that his new movie Disclosure Day will make Christians second guess their entire religion. So ask yourself this question. It's just a movie, right? Why would you make a statement like that? What do you know? Check out the trailer for yourself.
We're interrupting.
Watch.
It's unclear if this is an official government disclosure.
I can see them. They're coming.
You're here.
This will not bend on established order across the entire world.
This is Disclosure Day.
And some early reviews that are coming out in regards to this film laid claims that it's as scary as can be. And others that have reviewed the film also are making claim about these aliens and how realistic they look in this movie. So let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. Will you be going to see Disclosure Day, Friday, June 12th? And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Y'all going to see it? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm not telling y'all what day I'm going to see it, but eventually I'll see it. And after this, I'm not going to speak about it until I see it. I'm going to come with some information. I'm just trying to give y'all some time before I ruin it, okay?
I keep telling y'all, these people are getting us ready for something, so you need to pay attention. Steven Spielberg's movie Disclosure Day, the movie about the UFOs, is dropping this Friday. And let me tell you this, you might not want to go see that movie. First and foremost, and Steven Spielberg said this himself,
What you have to understand is, do you understand what he's doing in front of you? What is that black man doing in front of you? Everything is a program. What is he doing in front of you? Do you know what he's doing in front of you? He's telling you, pay attention. He's telling you what everybody's on the code of. He's telling you, you may not want to watch the movie. You know what that means, right? He's basically working on the side of, I know what's going on, right? But we pretty much going to try to ignore this. Even their own people know what's going on. It's a program to lead their own back into an old world of, oh, none of this is this, none of this is this, right? So what happened? This is a what if, just like the Marvel, what if? What happened if, right, I'm standing in front of you and we're supposed to be two black men, right? And out of nowhere, we close our eyes, I open my eyes, you open your eyes. I appear as something that you can't identify as. And you're a black man, right? What happens? Remember, every nation is on a code, right? All right, so when it comes towards so-called black people, right, are they remaining on a code with the system? Are they afraid? Are they afraid of their big brothers? Are they afraid of the Christ that's already here watching them? Everybody's on the code in order to fight against what's happening, okay? You all are one accord. Just because you claim different colors, it doesn't mean that you all are different. Because consciously, anyone can say, yeah, he watched the video, and why is he telling us not to watch it? Understand how your mind obey the code, though. See? What did I just show you earlier? I showed you a video where people were on an elevator. They put on helmets because they follow everybody else. You're going to follow the message of what he just said. That's all I'm showing you. That's it. It's quite simple.
Alien Movie Disclosure Day will make Christians second guess their religion. Now you gotta ask yourself, why would he say something like that?
Right.
What type of information does he have that'll make Christians second guess their religion? Listen to this shit.
Watch.
Listen to this shit.
Today's.
Go back to some scary shit. This shit is talking through her. Do you understand what she's saying?
I hear her. It's gibberish. You can't understand it.
I can't. It was a guy that reviewed the movie that said when he left out, he felt like something was following him. It was another guy that reviewed the movie that said he was sitting there watching the movie and he had to ask himself, am I crying?
Damn.
And he wasn't crying. He said he hasn't been that scared in a movie since he was a kid. People are also saying that it's crazy that he was spot on with these aliens in the movie. Meaning, these aliens in the movie look too damn real. All I'm going to say is, remember when a certain person mentioned P-47s and P-52s? And if you don't know what that means, I think you need to go back to a couple of my videos and see. A lot of people are going to be curious because of this movie right here. I'm out.
They were talking about the interdimensional beings, the P-47s, 52s, pretty much ultra-terrestrials. That's the old girl that passed. I don't want to say her name because, yeah, I don't want no parts of that. But
right.
They're from the future. That's what they're saying. And they're coming back to try to prevent something that happened to them. And
Slow, so you can understand something. Let it play again and then go in.
They were talking about the interdimensional beings, the P-47s, 52.
Interdimensional beings, right? Remember what I just said a second ago. I said dimensions of consciousness. Pay attention to the setup so you can understand something. When it comes to the third dimension, right, you have food that you eat within the third dimension, okay? What you have to understand is that the word food can fool the technology of your mind. In the third dimension, you believe, pay attention. In the third dimension, you believe that you're eating food. That's what you've been programmed to believe. That's a belief system, okay? Now, when it comes toward food, food is the informational source for the technology of your body. The technology of your body is the hardware. The things that you put in is the software. That's what you have to understand. Now, let me show you something. If you decalcify the pineal gland, right, you block out the right side of consciousness. You don't have no self-teacher. It's locked down. Now, you take the left side of the mind. When you take the left side of the mind, right, let's just say you say, I want to install the hardware of the vessel, right, with a software of artificial ingredients. Artificial, A, ingredients, I. You want me to run it back again? The technology of your body is the hardware. The things that you eat, so-called food, is the software. The pineal gland, right, to the teacher of the right side of your conscious that you call the subconscious, that teaches the left side of the mind, has been decalcified and has been blocked. You don't have access to that. Now, let me ask you a question. Why would someone, right, invent an artificial ingredient, artificial A, ingredient I? You're installing AI within you. You don't understand that. You don't. Because if you understand how AI work, AI needs forms of information and data to be uploaded consciously. Okay? Now, what happens is when you say, I want to break out of a stimulation, right? The things that you eat stimulates the mind and keeps the mind late, because the things that you eat is stimulating the technology of your mind. Now, if your mind is being stimulated with an artificial ingredient, what you have to understand is when you eat, you are installing. The technology of your body will hold the information and data. How do I know? your vitamin code system and mineral code system. Your vitamin code system holds minerals. Your vitamin code system holds minerals. Stop. Your vitamin code system holds vitamins. Your mineral code system holds minerals. Now, if your body holds minerals and vitamins, you don't think your body will hold the information and data of an artificial ingredient that programs the technology of the mind to be in an artificial reality based on you installing the artificial reality within you, and the technology of your body is holding it, now projecting it from the technology of your mind through the projection of the technology of your eyes? How can you break out of a stimulation if you're installing a stimulation within you? Think.
Pretty much ultra-terrestrials. That's the old girl that passed. I don't want to say her name because, you know, yeah, I don't want no parts of that. But
you're not
they're
done,
from the
bro.
future. That's what they're saying.
You gotta land. My bad. When you install the artificial ingredient, this is a form of information and data that's from the third dimension. You're being stimulated for your consciousness to remain in the third dimension. Can I ask you a question? If you're only being installed with third dimensional information and data, does this information and data from a third dimensional world, does it block out the other dimensions that are playing around you? If I installed you with information and data from the fourth dimension, the technology of your hardware of your vessel will be given access to the fourth dimension. It's not something that you can just, you have to install. You have to have access to. That's what you have to understand. So, can I ask you a question? If I take your consciousness, block out the right side of your consciousness, which is your subconscious, decalcify your pineal gland, and then I stimulate you with third dimensional information and data as an artificial ingredient that is nothing more than AI. Do your consciousness remain in the third dimension? Yes, it does. Because you're only installing, and the technology of your consciousness is only holding information and data in order to remain and remember only the third dimension, even though there's other dimensions that are playing in front of you. So when you say interdimensional beings, right, these beings are actually in this dimension with you, but you're not installed with the information and data of that dimension in order to know. You're only being installed with, pay attention, when you go inside of a store. Can I ask you a question? The boxes that you see on the outside of you, inside the store, they're all a shape that you would say a block. You would say square. The square is to actually infiltrate your mind and think it is a square. It is not a square. It is a block, and a blockage of information and data in order to remain in the third dimension. Why do you think everything is inside of a block? In order to block out dimensions and keep your consciousness in the third dimension. Setups. When it comes to Mother Nature, what you have to understand, the shapes that she uses, she never uses a block, because the information and data of Mother Nature will never block out your consciousness. It will only produce, you eat produce, right? It will only produce the intelligence of your mind and body. Do you understand the code in front of you? When you go inside of a store, the store is storing information and data. That's why they call it a store. Do you understand that? Now, when it comes to a store storing information and data, the question you should ask is, why do they hold produce and why do they hold artificial ingredients? Why do they do that? When Mother Nature shows you, there is no, when you go to Mother Nature, just because you named it a watermelon, did she tell you it was a watermelon? No, she did not. She didn't tell you that. That's just what your conscious projected and believed that what it was. But anyone understand that when it comes to Mother Nature, nothing is labeled. She doesn't deal with labels. But when it comes to the boxes that are blockage, right, they all deal with labels and manipulation at the same time. You want me to show you? I'll show you. So you can understand something. And we'll get right back to the video so you can understand how manipulation works, okay? When it comes to a granola bar, right, it would say on here, I'm going to show you, it says oats and honey, okay? You're being sold only oats and honey, right? Now, if you're only being sold oats and honey and you want to actually see if this granola bar identifies with your vitamin code system and mineral code system, the technology of your consciousness is now going to be looking at it like, I need to see if it's vitamins and minerals in here. Why is that? Because on the simple fact, the vitamins and mineral code system are the systems that's within me that identify the things that I eat, setups. Now, let's get into this a little bit more. Watch so you can understand. When it comes to the ingredients is what's going to be installed in what's going within ingredients. Thank you. Now, what you have within here is this. Pay attention. You have whole grains, whole grain oats. You have sugar, canola oil. You have rice and flour. You have honey, brown sugar, syrup, salt, soil. What is this? Lenthin. Lenthin. Yes. Okay. You also have natural flavor. It also has baking soda. It contains soil and contains peanuts, almonds, wheat, milk, coconut, cashews, pecans. All sounds great, doesn't it? Watch the setup. Contains bioengineered foods. Setups. Watch this. Can I ask you a question? What is the ingredient in order to design a bioengineered food? I'm going to show it to you in just a second. I got the proof. I got the receipts. Can I ask you a question? It simply says right here, contains bioengineered food ingredients. You heard of the bio weapons within the Bible, right? Setups. Can I ask you a question? What is the ingredient that designs the bioengineered food? Is it telling you on the label? No. So can I ask you a question? If bioengineered foods are designed to help you consciously and to produce the technology of your body, why do they label it as a bioengineered food? Why are they not giving you the instructions of how it was designed? Setups. Want me to show you? I'll show you. You see that right there? Hold on. It's gonna laser in. Give me a second. Hold on. Why is it so dark right now? I'm standing right in front of the light. Everything look dark right now. Can you see that at the bottom? You probably can't see it. I'm waiting for the camera to focus. But I showed this last time. Maybe the technology of things is being hacked right now. Last time I showed this, and it showed very clear. Maybe it's trying to hide from the people. But this has a bioengineered ingredient. But the thing is, it doesn't give you the instructions of how the bioengineered ingredient was designed. Now, someone is listening. Someone just said, hold on. You just said bioengineered weapons. Can I ask you a question? Do you believe that bioengineered weapons are designed in laboratories? That's what you believe. Can I ask you a question? If you take 95% of people and you block them, right? And you decalcify their pineal glands and block them from their subconscious, right? And they have been installed to believe things, food, right? When it comes to the bioengineered weapons that are inside of the Bible, understand that these bioengineered weapons, they were designed. Can I ask you a question? What is the information in order to design them? What is the consciousness that this bioengineered weapon has to be within to in order to fight things or destroy things? Consciously, everything has to be informed, right? What you understand is that the things that you eat comes down to information and data. When you eat, you install. When you install, you are now informed. Now you can obey the actions of the information and data. That is called a bioengineered ingredient. The technology of your body holds information and data. If it holds information and data, then guess what happens? You become the bioengineered weapon because you installed the bioengineered ingredients in what's within. That's what you have to understand. You want me to run it back again? I'll run it back again. Contain bioengineered foods. But the rapper doesn't actually explain to you, right, how the bioengineered food ingredient was designed. It doesn't tell you that. It tells you everything about the nuts, the almond, the wheat, the milk. It tells you coconut, all of that. But why doesn't it explain how the bioengineered food was created? Why doesn't it explain why the bioengineered ingredient was created? Why doesn't it explain to that? Because it's hiding something from you, in front of you. You understand? All right, let's get into this a little bit more. Bioengineered weapons need bioengineered information and data in order to operate as a bioengineered weapon. What's the point in creating it in a laboratory if I can plug everybody's consciousness into ignorancy of their self, right, and now install them with the ingredient? What's the point of doing that? You're thinking it's laboratories, right? I'm not saying that's not true. But this can be the biggest laboratory because it's filled with ignorancy of self. Okay? I mean, if you're totally unaware of it, then shit, you could totally do it. Okay? All right, let's get into the data points. A lot of people cannot understand consciously. It's because when it comes to this knowledge, you have to be connected with yourself. If you are all left mind, you're not designed to understand. Understand that a lot of us was designed to wake up and a lot of us was not designed to wake up. Understand? So we all can't operate on the same form of information and data and same frequency. Some are designed not to wake up. So you can experience the experience of not waking up, so you can know. Others are designed that they woke up and they know both sides. Do you understand? There's no need to fight in the comment section, all right, people? Have a nice day.
Coming back to try to prevent something that happened to them, and it's the reason why they look like that. They had to go underground.
I want you to pay attention to
You
something.
need to go back to a couple of my videos and see. A lot of people are going to be curious because of this movie right here. I'm out.
They were talking about the interdimensional beings, the P-47, 52s, pretty much ultra-terrestrials. That's the old girl that passed. I don't want to say her name because, I don't want no parts of that. But they're from the future. That's what they're saying. And they're coming back to try to prevent something that happened to them, and it's the reason why they look like that. They had to go underground, and they started doing stuff and experiments on themselves, which, we can kind of see today. All the stuff they put in the food, they're spraying the sky with, everything. And why they're building the bunkers, they're going underground. It's a precursor to what they already know to be true.
Who's going underneath the ground? Who is going underneath the ground? Why are they going underneath the ground? Why is that? What are they running from? What have they done? These are the most richest people. These are supposed to be the most intelligent people, but they're going underneath the ground. Why is that? You would simply say they're going underneath the ground, bro, because when it comes towards the consciousness of the earth, the consciousness of the earth is heating up. That's just one major factor. That's one major factor. What are the other factors? Usually when you're going under the earth, that means that you're trying to hide from something. That means that someone knows that something is here. And we're all consciously agreeing. Pay attention to the setup so you can understand. You would simply say, there's no UFOs, that's all distraction, this is that and the third. But hold on. When it comes to the technology of the minds and the bodies, The bodies are running. The consciousnesses are running. From who? We all human. We all been programmed to be humans. So who? Humans, we ain't running from each other. We have bad experiences with each other all the time. So what are they running from? This is not a distraction, because anyone understands that, no, this is not a distraction. This is actually the truth. And people don't want to understand consciously what is going on. They want to remain in this old third dimensional world. That's what it is. They want to remain here. And what's starting to happen is others know that the third dimension has already fell down consciously. Your economics is on the ground. When it comes towards the sun is literally melting certain things on this earth. When it comes towards your power grids can be knocked out by the sun. Your internet grids can be knocked out. Humans don't have control no more. And that's what's scary. That's what's scary. What's scary is we're in control of everything. And then when another conscious come and show you, you're not in control of nothing. That's the scary part as a human. Because your human conscious is designed to say, I run this, I control these people, I re-engineer consciousness, everyone follow me because I'm human. And then everything that you believe into blows up in front of your face. How you think you're going to feel? You're going to feel afraid, because it's like a mind that was programmed to believe into all these things. And then when you snatch all the information and data out of it, it's sitting there like, I don't even know what to do. That's the scary part that people are experiencing, okay? So a lot of people want to say, why is this happening? Why, bro? Like, why is this happening to us? Well, let's pay attention to your conscious. What's the image of the Christ right there? You don't got no memory. So you don't understand what world you're in right now. Okay? A lot of people have been programmed to hate the image of the Christ. That's why you don't have no memory of the Christ. You don't. They just sit literally on TV. The religions that you believe into, it's not what it is. So what was religion designed to do? Was it designed to be a destroyer towards spirituality? Was it designed in order to make people that actually teach themselves look like they're monsters or crazy or insane? Because they don't want to believe in the same construct of what you have been constructed to believe into. Religion doesn't start in your mother's womb. Religion only starts after you have been converted into religion as a child. You know nothing about religion because you was a child when you got converted into it. Let me show you how you don't know. What is the building that you walk upon or that you walk into? You would simply say, this is a church. Decode shit. This is how you don't know. You were a child when you were converted into the system. Do you understand that? They select you when you are a child because you know why? You are a fresh mind and you don't understand the world that is already playing around you before you came here. That's what you don't understand. Now watch. When it comes towards church, right? You would simply say you are walking within a church. That's what you're walking into. Right. Let's pay attention to something. The word that you just said, you have to spell, right? So that means that words are spells. Can I ask you a question? The spell that is imprinted inside the technology of your mind came from another conscious. Can you actually, right? Can you actually break down the spell that's in front of you to know? Anyone would understand consciously that the spell is actually telling you what you are doing. It's not just a word. CH, church is spelled CHURCH. CH stands for channel. The U stands for you. The R stands for what you are doing. And then it stands for channel again. Channel. you are channeling. Now, what are you channeling to? Do you know? Now, let's just speak about it. You went through a baptism, isn't that right? Right. When it comes to a baptism, what is in front of you in the third dimension? Water. Granted. The technology of your body standing within the water. Setups. The technology of your mind has only been customized in order to stay within the third dimension. Setups. So you can't see within other dimensions that are playing within the water in the water frequency that you are in. That's what you have to understand. The water comes with a frequency. The water comes with information and data. Pay attention to the technology of your body. Your body holds skin, right? But also you have pores. If I throw water upon your skin, what happens? Your pores extract the information and data that is within the water, which means that it brings the information and data within your body. Setups. Okay? Let me ask you a question. If consciously you have been blocked, right, where you only have access to the third dimension, right, the other dimensions that are playing, they're already playing regardless of you being installed within it. It doesn't matter. Can I ask you a question? What is within the water? Do you know? You don't know. Because you're only in the third dimension. You're watching everything in the third dimension. It doesn't mean that there's nothing else that's playing within that dimension of water. The body holds a frequency. The body holds energy. In order to overtake the technology of your body, you have to invite setups. You did do the invitation because the technology of your body is implanted within the water. When you're within the water, pay attention, setups. You ever heard of water? You heard of water, right? What's the first word that you spell when you spell water? War. W-A-R. Now you could put the other letters with it, but that is the first thing that you ran into when you spelled the word. War. Let me show you how war works. Let's just say you have something, right, that you say is water. You have a faucet, right, faucets, false water, based upon the information and data that you would call chloride. In order to destroy you silently, you ever heard of a silent killer? You've seen that play out when on the TV, silent killers. Silent killers, right, are designed to destroy you in the inside, but slowly. The more and more you shower without a shower head, the chloride that is within the water, right, the technology of your skin has pores, and the chloride is actually going within the water of your vessel. That is a war. That is silence. What I would simply say to you all, does the pore also have chloride water? Or is it just a pore? You all are supposed to be within the same water system, right? Let's get into the data points.
But damn.
Steven Spielberg said his movie Disclosure Day is going to make Christians question their religion. I'm not buying it. I beg to differ. We've seen this time and time again. They're going to go into that movie and they're going to walk right out and call it demonic. They're going to say it's very deceptive, very evil. But I've noticed as soon as information starts pushing up against people's worldview,
yes,
they call it demonic. It's easier. Y'all already know who's going to be front and center, right? Me. Yeah, because I already know how Hollywood do. They put shit out there in front of the public before the public is ready to have the conversation. Been doing it for years. Think about it. Years ago, they was showing AI in movies and people was laughing and eating their popcorn. Now look. People laugh at surveillance. Now look. A lot of people could not fathom digital identities.
Now look.
Right.
Now look. Not that Hollywood is predicting the future. They're showing you what it is.
Thank
what
you.
it's always been.
Thank you.
I'm gonna save the full breakdown for when I go see the movie, but I just want to talk about the name of the movie for a second. Disclosure. Not invasion, not attack, not destruction, but disclosure. I think that's an interesting choice of words,
Thank you.
don't you? Because disclosure means you're going to reveal something. You're going to make something.
You heard what she just said, right? Pay attention. If we are being pulled, right, out of the construct of consciousness in the third dimension, what does that mean? That means that everything that's in a higher dimension has to reveal setups, okay? So as things get revealed, right, what's happening from the top that is trickling down to the bottom that you would say people or human beings, this is what you are, right? What is being revealed, while things are being revealed, you all are being watched to see how you react. You understand that? So if you say, pay attention, if you say, this is not real, I don't really care about this, one day, right, it will all settle in. And things that you thought were this, that, it will all start to appear differently. Okay? If you understand with the movie, with the white girl, that's the weather reporter, she was trying to speak as a human, but something took control of the technology of her mind and started speaking through her. Now, as a human, that is something that you would be afraid of because you are taught, I'm only in control. But in the movie, it shows that something else took control. Okay? All right. So, as we watch this galactic world together, right? The things that you see on TV as cases of children, right, being murdered, your courtroom system, murdering of children, locking children up, all this other different stuff has everything to do with what's happening today. You understand? That what you have to understand is there are many consciousness that broke out of the system. And the system is repeating the same thing that it done in order to lock these consciousnesses down. And they can't lock these certain consciousnesses down. They won't give up. And so the more and more they don't give up, things are being revealed in front of our very eyes. It doesn't matter that if you a third dimensional character, NPC or CPU or whatever you want to call yourself, right? Or a human being. None of this matters today. The life that we live today does not matter today. It does not. If you think it means something, then why is it falling down? Why is everything in the third dimension falling down? Your economics is falling down. Your birth rates are falling down. And that's amongst everybody in America, not just one group of people. Because we have been taught and we have been programmed to sit here and believe the only time we need to procreate is when we have money in our motherfucking pockets. And you think it makes common sense in order to attach money towards a life. How are you going to attach money towards life when your money is printed out of a machine? A machine prints money and you work for it when the machine is supposed to be working for you. Consciousness is unbalanced. And this is why consciousness is being uploaded in front of us. We're getting consciously upgraded, all of us. And things are being disclosed. That way we can be pushed to a higher dimension of consciousness. Because when you understand in the third dimension, it's only designed in order to keep everybody in the third dimension, in order to keep everybody in a lower consciousness. When you have other consciousness that speak in a higher dimension, guess what they're met with? You're crazy. You're on drugs. It's something wrong with you. So this world has to die consciously. And that is what everybody's afraid of because you all think that the third dimensional world was real. It was never real. It was nothing more than a construct and a made up source of that you call being a human being. Human beings are not designed to evolve. Show me.
Known that's been unknown. You're going to bring something to the light. The first thing that comes to mind is what exactly could they be disclosing? Or it's going to be aliens, but I don't think it's about the aliens. I think it's about belief systems. Why Steven Spielberg said what he said. That's where the Christian conversation got interesting to me, because I know, like I said before, when something challenges others' programming, they gonna give a lot of pushback.
Programming.
Truth in plain sight, that term does not resonate with these folks. Some people challenging their beliefs feels like you challenging their identity, because they both tied to one another. Because now we've been watching the foundation crack in every major institution, like religion, like the government, education, media, healthcare, finance. Now people starting to question everything, not because they rebellious, maybe a little bit of that too, but it's because a lot of shit not adding up. They starting to see the contradictions. The veil is gone.
Thank you.
Here's the thing. Disclosure is not just one event. It's a whole process. Truth be told, we've been in disclosure for years.
Thank you.
Little pieces, little revelations, little breadcrumbs here and there, little truths, little contradictions. Notice how every year the conversations get a little less taboo. You stop sounding so crazy. Think about all of this movie is not preparing anybody for anything new. It's allowing people to have the conversations they weren't ready to have before.
Thank you.
Hollywood loves symbolism. They're going to tell you one story on the surface, but there's another hidden meaning underneath.
Thank you.
Again, why I'm going to be front and center, because you know what I'm going to do. Decode.
Decode.
Symbolism, the numbers.
Well, hold on, slow down.
The archetypes, hidden messages.
What did I just say to you before? How, Spot, pay attention. How is it that the both of our consciences, right? She's doing something somewhere else in another state. I'm doing something somewhere else in another state. How is it that the both of our consciences said the same word, decode? How? She must know something I know. Do you understand how consciousness work? Oh, I'm trying to tell you something.
Is the parallels to what's happening.
I'm gonna show you something else
Movie
too. Watch this.
At a particular time, pay attention. Specific message keeps repeating over and over. Pay attention. Multiple industries start talking about the same exact things. Pay attention. History has taught me one thing. It's sometimes the biggest story is not the reveal. Sometimes it's, why are they showing this to me right now? You know, in the comments, which I think the biggest piece of disclosure in this movie is going to be. And if y'all plan to go see it, as always, peace, love, and light, and gratitude for watching it.
He's awesome.
Pound for pound, more protein than a ribeye steak. And way more convenient.
Get to these galactic data points right here.
AI is transforming customer service, and the leader is Finn. We win in all the benchmarks and the bake-offs, and we're number one on G2.
Give me just a second.
If you ask us,
Girl, you looking
the only
good.
genes that matter are the
Luxurious.
one.
Anyways,
Everything
you want to hear about God, right? No. I know you're conscious. You're conscious like, come on, give me some God stuff. I got you right here, okay? You want to hear about God, right? It's okay. You're going to understand something. There's going to be something played right here, right? And you're going to understand you're not in a different dimension of consciousness. The technology of your mind has been re-engineered and designed to believe that you're in a different dimension, but everything is in the same dimension with each other. There is nothing that is separated consciously. You have a belief system that makes you believe that things are separate conscious. They are not. Let me show you. Watch this. The sun, the earth. You would simply say those are two different things. Setups. What did I just do to your conscious? You told me two words? No. I created separation by telling you two different things. But your consciousness accepted that. Did you understand that? You would say that the earth and the sun are different because I called them two different things. Thank you. Pay attention to the setup so you can understand something. The sun and the earth are not different from each other. Let me show you. When it comes to the consciousness of the earth and the consciousness of the sun, both of them are consciousness. You're in the third dimension searching to see if it's flat or round. What I'm doing is I want to know the function and the functionality setting when it comes to the earth and when it comes towards the sun. How do they function together consciously? Now, let's pay attention here. When it comes towards consciousness, I'm going to use a third dimensional way, and then I'm going to show you a higher way. Watch. When it comes to me and you, right, what is something that's within the functionality setting that we do together? We communicate. Communication has everything to do with what? Functionality. This is something how we function. We function with communication. Pay attention to the setup. Watch. I'm speaking to someone. When I speak to them, I would simply say to them, those are nice shoes. What just happened in front of you? You complimented me on my shoes? Setups. You're not paying attention to the functionality setting of how communication works. Watch. The technology of my eyes, right, acknowledge something upon you. The message of your shoes, right, now is being generated in my mind. Now, I'm going to reply towards what was just generated in my mind, which is your sneakers. I viewed, right, now the image is within my mind. Now I say to my own mind, consciously, those are some nice sneakers. Here first, to myself. Now, right, when I compliment you, right, I'm only sharing the information and data of the reply of what I've created in my consciousness to you. Hey, brother, those are some nice sneakers that you got on your feet. Can I ask you a question? What just happened? You would simply say, you said, my sneakers look nice. You're still in the third dimension. What you got to understand in communication, right? Communication has everything to do with frequency, okay? The frequency of what I just spoke, right? Frequency, right? Something that you would frequently see, setups. Now, the frequency of what I just spoke hit the technology of your ear. Now transfer it to your mind. Now for us to align, to communicate about the sneakers. You didn't see that in front of you, did you? Because you're stuck in the third dimension. You're not understanding how the technology of the minds function, the functionality setting, and how everything plays out with each other. Did you understand just by complimenting you on your sneakers, I just basically took you to the reality of what I just generated in my consciousness by basically acknowledging your sneakers, now telling myself, hey, those are some nice sneakers. Now, coming with a reply with myself and now forecasting upon you that is within a frequency. The technology of your ear received the frequency. Now it's transferred to the mind. Now the mind comes with what? A reply. Did you didn't see that, right? I know, it's okay. Watch this. So you can understand that the dimensions of consciousness that we are in, they're not erased. They have been called different things, but they all are the same. Do you understand? All right, we're about to get into something right here. You want to listen to God, right? There you go, watch this.
Perfect. And there can't be any imperfection.
That's not true.
So where did imperfection come in?
Watch.
We're not.
Watch this. So you can understand something. Watch. Let's go here. Let's go back a little bit. Go back here. Go about right there. Right? Here we go.
Sometimes the biggest story is not the reveal. Sometimes it's, why are they showing this to me right now? You know, in the comments, which I think the biggest piece of disclosure in this movie is going to be. And if y'all plan to go see it, as always, peace, love, and light, and gratitude for watching it.
He's awesome.
If God is perfect, everything he does is perfect, then there can't be any imperfections.
That's not true.
So where did imperfection come in?
We're not meant to be perfect. God is perfect, and we try.
Is the likeness of God?
Yes, but we try as human beings, but we're never gonna
Yeah, but if we're in the image and likeness of God, because
Yeah.
He created us in His image and likeness, then that means if He's imperfect, we will be imperfect if we're in His image and likeness.
Yeah.
You follow me? Right, so He's imperfect then.
No.
That's
What she's not understanding what herself is, the human conscious believes that the God that's created within the technology of their minds in the memory bank, you would simply say God is perfect. Watch this. Let me show you what's perfect so you can understand something. You would say God is perfect, right? I'm not going to disagree with you. Let me show you something. Let me show you what's perfect so you can understand something. You say that God is perfect. I'm not going to disagree with you, right? But watch this. Let's just say, right, you're going on your day, right? And you are met with a self issue, a self problem on your journey. Okay? Let's just say you have a habit of smoking, let's say cigarettes, right? Popular pick. Can I ask you a question? What is the error? The error is your habits. You have been programmed to believe that you should smoke cigarettes, right? Can I ask you a question? If that's the error, what is the solution? The solution is to do what? Stop smoking cigarettes. So let me ask you a question. Is it actually perfect that you can identify a problem and now apply it with a self-solution? Is that perfect? To me, that is perfect. Because on a simple fact, pretty much how I'm understanding consciously, I can make a mistake, right? I can make an error, right? The reason why that is because I now understand my self-error. I now understand that I identified what the error is. Now I'm going to apply solution. When I apply solution, guess what I just did with my whole reality? I just reversed my consciousness from a problem. That's what you're not understanding. That's what's perfect. The balance. You need error. You need solution. This is a perfect balance. You're always going to run into problem. Do you know why? Because you need to know what the problem and the error is in order to apply a solution. That's what you have to understand what is perfect. You will simply say that God is perfect, right? I'm not going to disagree with you. But everyone understands, even within a mathematics system, you have to do adding and subtracting, don't you? Before you add and subtract, you have to do what? You have to create a problem, setups. Your teachers gave you problems, didn't they? Okay, now they gave you what? A formula. What is the formula? To know and to identify what the problem is. What is the problem? The problem is 1 + 1. Okay. What's the solution? If I add both of them together, I get number 2. Okay. So let me ask you a question. If you can identify what problems are and apply a solution, that's not perfect? See, you want everything to be perfect, but in order for things to be perfect, you need error and you need solution. Let me show you with yourself. Watch this. Watch this one. You were getting on a bike, right? When you got on the bike, your parents taught you, right? You need to pedal, keep the wheel straight, right? But when you first got on, the solution that they gave you, you had to teach it to your own mind. You don't understand that, but they gave you the solution already. Now watch this. Pay attention to this. When most kids get on the bike, they start pedaling, right? For majority of us, we have all fell off of a bike. We all have, majority of us. For the ones that didn't fall off the bike, there's another setting for them. For the one that fell off the bike, right? You can identify, how did you fall off the bike? I was going too fast and I made a right-hand turn and it just kind of flipped the bike over. I understand. Now, let me ask you a question. Would you repeat it? You're going to say no. That's the solution. Thank you. Did you understand that you did it with your own mind? Now watch this. You have other ones that's riding a bike, right? And they're monitoring how everything is. When they're monitoring everything, how it is and how it's going, sometime what happens is they would tell you, I was about to fall off the bike, but then I made a certain type of turn that led into a solution. I hit the brakes that led into a solution in order for them not to fall off the bike. Do you understand? So the technology of your consciousness deal with error, trial, and also come with solution. That's what you have to understand. It was perfect. You may not understand that just yet, but error and solution go hand in hand. It's just as much as you saying lower conscious and higher conscious. You need a lower conscious in order to understand how to get towards a higher conscious. Do you understand that? You may not understand that because a lot of people are stuck in what? Repeating their error. Create problem. Where's the solution? I don't know. See? That's what's perfect. What's perfect is error. And what is perfect is solution because the both of them bring in what? Balance and knowing. Setups. Let's get to the data points.
That's not making sense.
Yeah.
If God is perfect and we're in his image and his likeness, we should be perfect.
We should be, but...
Right, if we're not, that means if we're in his image and likeness, he is not perfect. And I'm trying to explain to you that this is because the gods that you're talking about are your Enki and Enlil. They're imperfect. They're agreeable and disagreeable, which means most translate as good and bad.
Right.
That's why people that have this image of a perfect God that knows everything, that can't make mistakes, is wrong because he said it grieved him for creating man. So either he didn't know he was going to create man to go wrong, which means he doesn't know everything, or if he did know everything and he created man and then he was grieved by his own creation, that means he made a mistake. He can't make a mistake and then be upset with himself for making a mistake.
Right.
If he knows everything and knows how to make things perfect.
Exactly.
Well, you have to speak to God on this.
You have to speak to him. Wait. Is this, when you say I have to speak to him, is it a designated time that you can speak to him? Or can you speak to him right now?
Right now.
Can you ask him?
Watch.
What do you want me to ask?
Did he make a mistake when he grieved in his heart?
But you can ask yourself.
Yeah, but we don't claim to speak to God like the way you're saying. Yeah.
It's your Enki and Enlil. They're two different natures. That's what we're trying to explain to you. That these concepts that you believe in are taken from ancient concepts and then being brought into the European concept and giving you a God character. Do you see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
But
so-
I think that Christianity started from Ethiopia.
Watch.
I didn't really believe.
Where did Ethiopia start from? Where did Ethiopia start from?
What do you mean? Like what country?
I'm saying, you said you believe that Christianity started from Ethiopia. But what's the word Ethiopia in the Bible?
Have you ever looked it up? It's the word Cush.
Cush. You know who Cush is?
From Egypt, yeah.
There you go. That's why I said to you that God comes from Egypt when you're talking about God.
So, in Ethiopia, right, you call things one way, right? You will go to the dimension in the conscious book of your Bible, and you will call things based on the European-centric mind. That's what you're doing, okay? Now, when you translate the things that come from Europe, that Europeans is copying from the Egyptian time frame, we will all understand consciously we're still within the Egyptian time frame. The only thing that we're doing is we're taking what you would say is Cush, right? That is an Egyptian time frame word. But now, if you translate it from this time frame, it is called something else. But originally, it started from where? Egyptians. Right, now they call it Cush. You call it Ethiopia. Setups. How are we in two different dimensions? What, because your conscience is programmed to believe this Ethiopia when you actually can trace this back to the words Cush, which is actually an Egyptian time frame? How did we escape time frames if we're only trying to translate it differently? And it originally come from over here. How are we in different time frames? How are we separated? How? Consciously, how are we? But because we rewrite the script But you need the original script in order to write. You need the original script in order to rewrite the script, don't you? Setups. You need the original script to rewrite the script, don't you? So how we away from the Egyptian time frame? How you away from the Egyptian time frame when your own house shows you a message to the Egyptian world? Pay attention to the step in front of you. Go outside your house right now. You don't see the message in front of you. Watch. When it comes towards your house, why is it made as a block? Why do you have triangles at the top? Damn! How you away from the Egyptian world? You don't even understand your house and what it's saying to you. Block the third eye. That's what you live in. You didn't know that, did you? Why would someone have a block and then triangles at the top? Your own house tell you to block out the third eye of yourself. You don't understand that. Catch your question. Now, what you need to ask is, who was the architects that built these type of homes up? Was you the architect to do it? You know, there's many architects in many different, I'm not gonna say many different words. There's many architects. Okay? It's just as much as the architect that you see in what? The Matrix. Right. So you don't think architects speak to each other within message, within symbolism? Your own house is a symbol. And it's a representation of the world that has been plugged in within you that you call the third dimension. Block the third eye. Decalcify your pineal gland. Your house is telling you that. You don't understand that. You don't. Your house pretty much is identical to a machine, a robot. Without the technology of your body and your energy, the robot that you're in would never be empowered. Without you going in there paying the bills and doing all that stuff, no lights or nothing come on. You're working for the robot. You're working for the machine. You're working for your house. Is that the right way to live? To be working for wires, metal, wood. That's what you're working for, consciously. Are you happy? That's the world that we all were in the third dimension. We work for the materials instead of allowing the materials to work for us. Setups. Okay? That's what happened. Let's get back into the data points.
You're talking about ancient Egyptian deities. Amun is one of the ones I gave you that you can find in Revelation 3:14. Why everyone that prays to God ends their prayers with Amun or Amen or Amin.
See?
Because they're giving reverence to the ancient Egyptian God, who we are descendants of.
Did you know that?
By DNA and everything.
We are descendants.
Right.
Did you know that? No, this lady gonna tell you some high-tech shit in just a minute. Did you notice that every time you say Amen, Amun-Ra, that's what some people say, is many names that he has, but we're just gonna use that one. You ever heard of Amun-Ra, the Egyptian god, the father of all the Egyptian gods? Without him, Egyptians wouldn't even exist. When you say Amen, in Egyptian time frame, they say Amun-Ra. They both refer to each other. The thing is that you're not understanding is this. When you say Amen, right, you are basically giving power towards man. Why wouldn't you not say the original God that created man? Setups. How could you give man? How could you give man praise if God is the one that created him in his form of image? How could you do that? How could you think what was created and not thinking its creator? They done flip the tables in your mind. And now consciously you're starting to understand, hold on. Why would I be thinking man if God created man? I should be thinking God because man is a creation that God created. Setups. You You understand? So when you say amen, man is not God. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand that you love Caesar Borgia, that you think is Jesus. That met up with a famous painter called Leonardo da Vinci. Right, Leonardo da Vinci basically tried to change the identity of Caesar Borgia. Caesar Borgia is nothing more than a character that is pretty much a murderer and a backstabber towards his own family. Setups. That's who you are praising. That is a man. That is a murderer and also a rapist towards his own sister. Setups. That's who you are praising. Okay? A lot of people don't want to understand that. But that image is copied within your mind to make you believe that man is God when man is not God. God, right, is what's within you. That's what you have to understand. The God DNA, the God consciousness. If you don't obtain none of that, then you don't have the God connection. You are a mortal man. That's it. A man is supposed to follow the consciousness of God. Do you know why? Because he's not going to want to be man no more. He's going to want to be aligned with God. Thank you. So what you think happens? Shit, we don't know because we broke away from God's ways. Let's get into the data points. Is this beautiful white lady right here?
What you have to understand, Master, is this. All of your history has been written by the Cabal. All of it. Okay? Everything that would inform you of any form of truth that you are source was eliminated. Everything is to make you afraid of ever thinking that you are source. All of your history has been written by those controlling your future. Should we say that again? All of your history has been written by those who are controlling the matrix and writing the script for your future. There's no prophecy involved in any of your written stuff. It's not a prophecy when you're controlling the outcome of anything. It's not. It's just bullshit, okay? Truly is. It truly is. We don't care if you don't believe us. You will believe us at some point because it's getting disclosed and it's going to rock everybody's world to find out that all of these religious doctrines that they've been following are written by satanic people who have been controlling the narrative on everything and have you so deeply programmed away from ever conceiving the possibility that you are source, that you are enslaved by them. It is the truth. It is the truth. And the problem is that such a mass of humanity has constructed who they are based on who they've been told to be.
Right.
That they won't know what to do with themselves when that truth reveals itself. We would ask you to hold tight in your compassion and your empathy for yourselves and for the all as this process unravels itself.
See, the game is the pastor has to keep you low. He's going to continue to preach to your pain because if you ever get over what it is that you're dealing with, then you're not going to need those sermons. And so what is it that the average person is dealing with? They're dealing with financial struggle, some type of healing that they need, sickness in their body. Usually when you find poverty, you're going to find poor eating, dietary habits. So you're going to find sickness and disease. And then you're going to find dysfunction in the home. So they use all of that as a way to speak to them. So they speak directly to that and say, God knows about it. It was all part of his plan. And just keep coming back, and he's about to do it for you. Oh yes, but let's not forget the most underhanded of them all. It's called the 360-degree cycle of manipulation. What it tells you is, if you have a need, what do you got to do? Oh, sow a seed. Well, guess what he does when he has a need? He tells you to sow a seed. Yep. So you lose and he wins 360 degrees. Ooh, that's cool.
Think about it. Y'all remember when all the pastors and stuff had a meeting with the government so they can tell the people on like something's coming that's going to change everything? It's like things are aligning in a certain way. Like I'm saying, you don't have to believe it, but I feel like something big is upon us. And it's been happening for a while. And we've been getting more and more and more and more and more information on these things. And they have to, I get why they have to roll it out kind of slow. Is because so many people, just like we hit on in the beginning of the video, so many people are just going with the flock. You were born into this thing and they told you who you need to be. They told you what jobs you need to have. They showed you what you need to learn. And for the people that step outside the box and do something different, have y'all noticed that most of the millionaires, billionaires and stuff like that didn't even finish, like a lot of them didn't even finish high school. They decided, and I'm not telling y'all don't go to school, but they did something different. That is my message. They did something different that aligned with them, that didn't align with what they were taught with the program. And it's been many people that try to talk them out of doing what they wanted to do with themselves. And they became successful in their own right because they followed who they were as a person, their passion, everything, their internal being, their internal message, their aura was controlled by themselves. They had an energy bubble around themselves where your inside, your outside thoughts cannot affect their mission and what they were doing. And, you know, we're all a little bit different, but most people follow the flock. And you're afraid, and especially when something comes up about something that is an opposing thought of what you were taught, they freak out. And that's AKA a part of the matrix, like that agent thing. They're just trying to hold you back, AKA NPCs. They can be easily controlled by that outside power that is feeding off of us, that is feeding off of all of our energy. But, you know, people are breaking away in massive groups right now from these attachments, from these things that perpetuate fear. And that's all it is. People are afraid to break away from what they've been taught.
Now, come here, Hank Van Hagen, right? I just want to read your comment real quick so we can understand something. This is why people should not speak, because they think they know everything about you and they know nothing about you. They don't. You said when you get your first YouTube check, fix your teeth, man. Okay. That wouldn't be an appropriate comment, for one. Two, there's no need for me to get my teeth fixed. Right. As my ancestors land upon this planet, there's certain things that happen to me. And I have to show them the proof of what happened to me. There's no need on me covering up something that actually happened to me when I was a kid. Furthermore, what you have to understand when it comes to adult programs and AI as a whole, what happened to me that you would want to know, that I basically healed from my trauma experiences, is that I had a black mother from the past, very brutal individual. One day I decided to wake up, you know what I mean, run around the house with me and my sister, wherever the case may be, and pretty much it led into a child being joyful. And when a child is being joyful in the black community, it's designed to be controlled and destroyed. What you have to understand. This is the things that we experience that a lot of you people don't understand consciously, right? Furthermore, it lead into a situation where basically me just being myself leading me to basically getting an ass whooping. Led into an ass whooping, and basically the black mother got upset that I put my head up and knocked my teeth out my mouth. So with that being said, as the human race as a whole, just shut the fuck up. Because basically, as humans, you're so unintelligent and it has no experience to actually question, how did that happen to you, my brother? We are so stuck on, right, forecasting pain on others, and you could just see with the comment that Hank got to be in pain. Because the first thing is, let me forecast this on you. Get your teeth fixed. Get your teeth fixed? I don't look at my teeth as something wrong or bad to get fixed. I'm looking at it like this is something that happened to me, and being that this happened to me, you all are human beings, right? All right, so this is what human beings do. You just want me to stop the memory of remembering what you did to me, right? All right then. So, with that being said, or whatever the case may be, they like to talk about children that actually was being destroyed by the whole simulation. Shout out to my black mothers that, you know, destroy their sons and shit. They get real quiet when you say that shit, right? Right. These are the experiences that we have went through, and everybody else need to shut the fuck up because a lot of you would have died in this experience that we went through. A lot of you are not spiritually strong in order to destroy the drama that you have been in. You unintelligent fucking beings. Always think they got a reason to talk. They haven't even discovered how to take. I already know what that's coming from, what demographic that's coming from. Y'all need to focus on hate. More importantly, your people need to focus on getting your melanated access codes up. For one. Okay? You might want to do that. Because the biggest problem is not what's in my mouth. The biggest problem is your skin. The biggest problem is your DNA. And not having a tie towards the sun in order to remain in this new world that we're going to be going to. So that shit don't even fucking matter because you're not even in the future. Do you understand the tech today? You'll be all right today. Shit is brazy tech. How people literally talk about someone's experience, right? And don't even know. Don't even understand that they trauma, they pain, their experiences that they went through. Do you know why? People are desensitized and think they know everything based on thoughts. That's the reason why thoughts are being destroyed. You ain't gonna have no more thoughts no more. It just showed you on Disclosure Day that this girl was playing as a weather forecasting system. Something that's within this world took control of her consciousness to make her speak the way it want her to speak. This is the world that we're going to. You understand? All right. This shit is quite funny what human beings have done to their own consciousness, bruh. This is something to laugh at, okay? Because it looks like the only way the human conscious works is make an error, make a problem, make a problem out of this, make a problem out of this. I don't want to hear about the intelligence that you're talking about. I just want you to do this. I want you to do this. I want you to do this. And you know what I want? The human conscious as a whole construct to be fucking erased. There you go. Okay? All right, boys and girls, y'all have a nice day today. Because just being honest with you, I'm getting everything I want anyway. Okay? All right, you have a nice day, sir. Shit is brazy. He said you gotta let them know. I understand that, but they gotta actually update and start asking questions. And stop projecting. You know what I'm talking about? You've been through an experience. You've been through an experience, right? You've been through an experience that half of these people could not experience. Majority of y'all would have died in the experiences I went through. None of y'all not really that spiritually strong or spiritually will. You're not. You're from a place in the land where you come from what? Everything's peachy and creamy. So what you know about life? Nothing. Only what I think and project. Or what I look at on TV. And that's a knowing? That's not a knowing. That's nothing more than thoughts. Okay? So this is the reason why consciousness is being destroyed. Because we're so fucked up consciously that we'll look at someone, make a comment, and don't even ask, like, how did you get there? I want to understand how that happened to you. Because once you understand how it happened, do you understand, like, you talking about the child self in him? That's what you're saying. You basically saying, like, yeah. But that child couldn't get his teeth fixed at that point in time. It was the adults to get it fixed. Let me show you how disrespectful adults are and the reason why they're being deleted and fucked over. Mother, my black mother. My black mother. Right. Can I ask you a question? This happened between the age frames of 10. No, not 10. Had to be 20 somewhere when you got your permanence. Probably somewhere 13, 14, somewhere in there. Right. Before I turned the age of 18, my mother could have got my teeth perfectly fixed. You know why she didn't do it? She was afraid of me to tell the truth. So you want me to pay for something, right, that was actually free. Do you see how unintelligent human beings are? Do you see why you all had to be destroyed? You hate children. And when you question, you would have understood right there in that moment, yeah, don't even talk about that with bro. Because how he look at it is, when you say that, you basically, how he look at it, he don't take it no other way. How he look at it is, anytime you say anything, right, and you don't question, it's different when you come in like, yo, bro, I ain't trying to be on no shit with you, but like, what happened to you, bro? Such. And then bro give you the facts of what happened to him. And then you can have an understanding with him. The minute you come by around, oh yeah, you need to fix your teeth. Like, I need to fix what? You all die. There you go. That's how he look at it as, because he's looking at it as you're talking about the child that went through that traumatic experience. And you're telling the child that was under the age of 18 to get his teeth fixed. You're thinking you're talking to the conscious right now of today's world. No, you're talking to the conscious of the child of me. That's what you're talking to. And so the child will tell you, oh, you let everything die. Everything die. Because on the simple fact, the only thing you keep doing is you keep talking to the child of me. You think you're talking to me, don't you? When the child that's within me is listening to you. And the child is looking at it like, it's just an AI program. Like, kill it. Like, destroy it all. Because I'm getting sick of hearing this shit. Stop focusing on destroying children with pain, agony, and trauma. Because when someone get over their trauma experiences and they hear just the ignorancy of what people are talking about, they'll tell you, delete the whole conscious of that shit. Thank you. Because it sounds like, yeah, bro, he when he talk about it, it doesn't sound like he's dwelling in it. It sounds like he's liberated from it, but the people that's around him is so fucking ignorant, they won't even ask him, yo, what happened to you, bro? Do you see what I'm talking about? That's like if I seen a girl, and let's just say something's on her body that we normally don't see. I'm not about to talk about that child. I'm about to ask her, can I ask you a question? I'm not trying to be ignorant or rude to you. How did that happen? I just want to understand your experiences. That's what I want to understand. And if you don't want to share that with me, it's okay. But I just want to show you I'm not like these other people in the world. I'm not going to judge you or what happened to your body when you was a child. I'm only going to ask you, hey, baby, can I ask you a question? What happened? Because I want to know. I went through certain trauma experiences. And the reason why I want to know is to see if you actually got through your trauma experiences and if I can actually help you. Do you see what I'm talking about? The average person is so fucking ignorant, they think in their minds like, oh, he's just a regular black man. He probably didn't take care of his oral hygiene. You know, they're dirty. This is why all minds that wanted to be in that 95% of disactivating your pineal gland in order to block out your original character, we know that this is a big-ass laboratory. And everything that wants to be in the consciousness of lower self, or you don't want to integrate with yourself, you'll be fucking consciously fucking deleted. You understand? All right, so fucking conscious upgrade in this bitch, okay? And understand with yourself, when you ask a question, you are getting to know that person's life, not based on some false fucking predictions, okay? You people are fucking stupid. Shit is funny out here in this world. Then you see that? Everybody like, I didn't know that happened to you. I didn't know that, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro, that happened to you. Happy Mother's Day to the mother that knocked her son's teeth out his mouth. Never got it fixed. And now he got to pay for it. Ain't that some shit? It's a demonic world. Yeah, let me tell you how demonic it is. Let me show you. I remember one time, me and my brother, we was going through an awakenings. Yeah. We was in New York Cities. Yeah, we're original Floridians. Yay. When we went to New York Cities, we understand that New York City is like a big old prison. I know. Now, also, right here, right? I had got a phone call from a mother from the past, the black mother. She called me. She said, hey, son, how you doing? This is that and the third. I wanted to talk to you about certain things. I said, is it the black mother or is it actually self speaking through her today? Damn. I said again, is it the black mother or is it self speaking through her today? We go inside the conversation or whatever the case may be. And what we simply say to her is, why are we in the life that we are in today? Understand, when you question, the truth had to be revealed, baby. Okay? Yes. She say to us, what you mean, sons? What are you talking about? The life that you're in today. I said, how did we get all the way here like this? The life that we live doesn't seem to be real. It seems to be false. Setups. And we speaking to the black woman today, or are we speaking to herself today? Let's get into the truth today. Let's get into it. She simply says to us certain things, right? We simply tell her, we are not trying to argue with you. We're just trying to figure out why life is the way it is. She says to us, she starts to cry. We're like, why are you crying? What's wrong? She says to us, sons, I had to tell y'all something. This is no longer the black mother that is speaking. This is self taking control in this present moment. She says to us, I had to tell you something. You know what she says to us? She sold her internal soul. She sold away what connects her to source. So if she's not connection to source, then mommy is a robot within robotic worlds. Mommy is robotic. Mommy is only programmed in order to follow the script of this robotic world. That's what she told us on the phone. You cannot hide what you have done. When your children awake, they will be hit with the truth. You would simply say, I'ma hide that shit. You can't hide that shit. You know why? Because herself took control. In order to let us know and understand this is not your mother anymore. Setups. Okay? All right? For some people, they're like, run! Run away from yourself. I just want to see, right? I'm just be honest with you. I just want to see if it's going to actually, what's going to happen after that. What happens when you sell your soul? Oh, it becomes a program. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Isn't that something? This is a funny world, isn't it? We got parents with no souls inside their tech. What? Yeah, you can't hide that from your children. You know that, right? You know, once they have their awakenings, everything had to be revealed. You know that, right? I'm not done with you. Come here. I had also spoke to this this black man. He's supposed to be my father. I won't say his name because I don't want to forecast in my reality. But he told me something too. He has a script too. You know that, right? No, stop. You were thinking like this. You're thinking like, when it comes to the black mother and the black father, you think, you look at it like, this is a script together. You know that, right? You do know that, right? Let me show you with the black father. Come here, come here. Come here, my black father. You're my father, right? Like, yes, son. Oh, look like he's trying to convince me that I'm his son. Setups. I wanted to understand if this so-called black father was actually my father. I wanted to know. You know what I'm saying? I'm a child inside this galactic world right here, experiencing my childhood self. You got it? And I want to know the truth. You want to know the truth? I want to know the truth. Got you right here. Now, what happens in this situation is this. I call him, right? Myself put me in a situation, right, where I didn't have no money and I kind of needed some help. Usually in the past of my past self, I got everything. But understand my past self is not my true self. Setups. Self is going to take you through experiences so you can know. If I give you all the glitz and glamour and put you around everybody, you think everything is okay. But if I snatch everything away from you and now put you in a certain situation where you need other people around you, they're going to reveal exactly who they are. Watch. I call him, I say to him, I say, yeah, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. The son is going through an awakening. Watch how the father responds to him. Pay attention. I say, the world that I'm in, I don't believe it no more. I don't believe that I'm black. I don't believe in the black construct of the mind. I don't believe in any of this stuff no more. The father says to him, oh, I don't like how you're speaking. Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like that. And being that I don't like that, right, you can stop calling me. Yeah, you can stop calling me or whatever the case may be. Pay attention. He's throwing his child away due to the systematic mind that he's programmed to be in. Can I ask you a question? Take it a step further. Right. Before that phone call, because I'll go back to that phone call, pay attention so you can understand what type of world you're in. Watch. Also, before that phone call, I had created me a business that I'm still working on today. I got my EIN number, email address, I got everything. I got the name of the business, I got everything on my own. Right. So when you create something, usually you're excited to tell others of what you're creating and what you're working on as a child. That's what you do. You share it with your family. Now, I had told this supposedly black father of mine, right? Because he's not my real father. Based on the conscious, he's not my real father. Can't be. Because my father self would never do me like this. Thank you. More importantly, what happened was, I say to him, I got this business. I got the business paper, I got everything, right? Currently, what I'm doing is I'm using all forms of sources of income in order to build it up. That's what you got to do on your own. You understand what I'm saying? If it's anything that you can, give to me in order to make this world exist, let me know. He says to me, he lies. He says, I spent all my money for the whole year. How did you spend your money for the whole year if the whole year didn't go past? You get paid paycheck to paycheck. You didn't generate all your money this year because you had to work paycheck to paycheck. Your son is not stupid. You think he's stupid, right? And it's okay. You can remain stupid, fucking dummy. Anyway, so I say to him, I said, how is it that all your money is spent up if you didn't make it for the whole year? You don't get paid salary. You get paid week by week that you come, right, towards the mechanic place that you work at. So you didn't make all your money the whole year in order to spend your whole money the year. Then I backdoor him with this one. Watch this. I backdoored him with this one. I said, when it comes towards your original son that's speaking to you on the phone, right? This shit deep. The original son that's speaking to you on the phone, how much have you poured into his cup? And how much have you poured into Jesus' cup? Damn! You can't question me about my Christian belief system. I'm not questioning you. I said, how many times have you poured into your son's cup that's in front of you versus Jesus' cup? Jesus is now your son. I am not your son no more. Have a nice one. Walked away. I said, this is something that I would never do to my son. If my son created something, he shows me what he created, and he has a business plan to back it up. Not just creating businesses and they don't have a business plan. He actually has a whole red print that you call a blueprint towards a business to show you. Not just talking about it. He has done the action and still is building it up to this day. He haven't stopped creating his dreams. But I understand something. I said, if this is the father of self, would the father of self just be a mechanic for someone else? Damn. The technology of your mind already know how to make or build maybe cars and fix them. Why won't you step out on your own and make your own mechanical business? Because the father and this false father and the original son is not aligned with each other. The son wants to what? Create in his life in order to own in life. Do you understand? The father wants to follow, I want to follow the simulation. I want to follow the simulation. I don't want to follow anything else. Now watch this so you can understand that people are in a stimulation, okay? He said maybe he got debt. He doesn't have debt. The reason why I know he doesn't have debt, this is why I'm saying like people be trying to make excuses for people, and we're not going to make excuses here. He doesn't have any debts. All his debts was already paid already. How do I know that? Because he used to tell me about the debts that he used to owe. He's not in debt anymore. Okay? So let's not make excuses. We all understand that black parents don't want to do anything for the future of their children. They only like to do something for other people's children that you call Jesus today. Okay? Have a nice day. Moving along. Let's get into this a little bit more. What happens in this situation was this. What happened? Disconnected from him, didn't say anything to him. Oh, the knowledge that I obtained out of that was that if my son creates something, he has a business plan and it's accurate, I'm going to back him. I'm going to back him. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to say I'm going to give him all the money, but I'm going to at least give him enough. Go ahead and start that thing up. I'm going to just watch from afar right here. Yeah? No, I'm just going to watch from afar. You that's your whole thing. I'm just give you this little energy right here, and you can. Now, let me show you this. He tells me before I departed from him, I don't know why black parents do this, but I would never do this either. He took out not a life insurance policy. I guess he has certain accounts that he puts certain money in, and we receive this money after he died. Come here, real quick. For some odd reason, when it comes to parenting, when it comes to white people parenting and black people parenting, there are certain skills that black people can learn from white people's parenting. Let me just show you. When it comes to white folks, for some reason, they like, nah, I'm going to give you money while you're alive and after I die. There you go. So, real quick, watch this. As black parents, do you know about life insurance? White parents, you know about life insurance, right? Right. Can I ask you a question? You have an insurance company called Gerber Life. Black parents, right. This is how poor the minds are. This is the repeated pattern that they follow every time. Stupid. And their own children are calling them fucking stupid. When it comes towards a life insurance plan should be generated right after the time of birth when you're given the Social Security number. The reason why that is because when you insure them with life insurance, right, you can make a whole life insurance policy where, let's just say you put money into it, right? It's going to do whatever it naturally do. Whole life insurance, right? Going to generate whatever it needs to generate. But what happens is at a certain point, let's say 18 or 21, right? The child gets to take control over that whole life insurance policy. And you know what happens? Instead of them getting a loan from a bank or running out all their credit cards, they can simply say, you know what? Mommy and daddy left me a nice little token. It's about 50K in there, right? I ain't gonna spend the whole 50K. But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go ahead and take out what I would say is a loan on their insurance policy. Do you understand that there's no interest on this loan? Because it's a whole life insurance policy. It seems as though like the children know more than their adults. Right. It's interest free. Did you know that? Oh, I didn't know that. Because I'm a black ass fucking dummy. Right. Did you know that? You didn't know that, did you? We're the new generation and we know this. There's no interest on it. Now, this is what I would do. Let's just say you left me 50K, right? I would take only half by it out. What I need, I'm not taking nothing else. If I don't need nothing else, I'm not taking nothing else out. I'm responsible, okay? All right, so what I would do is, let's take 25 out. 25, yep, because you still have another 25 in there. We take that 25 out right here. Right, we go with the blueprint of the business that we call the red print. We follow it, right. Now, once it start generating, guess what I'm doing? I'm putting that $25,000 back. Thank you. Along with another payment that you would say is interest. So let's just say I put the $25,000 back. I'm back to 50K, but the interest payments that I paid on it, and when I say interest payments, these are personal payments that I'm doing. I'm not saying there's interest on the life insurance policy. When I pay more into it. So I call it an interest payment. That's what I call it. Let's just say, you say, right? You're not listening to me. You're listening to the word interest and you're not really listening to what I'm saying. Okay? An interest payment of my definition is like this. Let's say I take out 25,000, right? And there's another 25,000 on the table, right? And let's say they say your minimum payment, right, to pay it back is $250, right? I'm going to double up on the payment. Thank you. I'm paying my self-interest on top of it because I'm paying the $250, right? And I'm putting another $250 with it, which would be actually $500, my correction. That would be a $500 payment. But the insurance policy is going to say, no, he's actually smart because he's not paying the minimum. He's actually doubling up off the minimum. So he's doing a double payment in order to pay it down quickly. And if he keep following this route, naturally it's going to keep building interest because it's going to surpass 50K and now start building itself up to what? 75, 100,000, 200,000, a million, whatever the fuck it's going to go to. You understand? So when it comes towards how can I say, this financial system that, I'm not going to say all of us is doing the same, but for our parents, they're doing it literally the most backwards ways ever. It's like financial literacy is not fucking loaded up in the mind today. The only thing that's loaded up in the mind is a program, which is use my body to make money. And once I use my body to make money, that's the only way. No, you can use your consciousness to make money. And you want to understand stocks, bonds. You have many different sources that you can use your own conscious and understand how markets work in order to generate money digitally, not just physically, okay? All right. We are the upgrades towards these false parents. I have now walked away from these individuals. I don't know who they are. We haven't had memories with each other for about 6 years, and I love it to be that way. You understand? I'm not fighting for something that's in the past that has no interest of itself, okay? Have a nice one. Shit is brazy tech out here. Watch this. Look at this word. It say, question, what is the image of the Christ? Setups. Can I ask you a question? Why is it that the technology... Stop. Why is it that the technology of your mind don't hold the image of the Christ? Setups. Matthew, right? Question, what is the image of the Christ? Question, why is it that the technology of your mind don't hold the image of the Christ? Setups. So how you living for Christ? what I would say for you, right? The business of what you do may not work for you. Okay? Don't forecast that type of comment, because business may not be for you. You may have been selected to, maybe follow or something, but that comment is not actually suitable. It's not. Business always works out. There's many forms of business. Just because you went into one industry and it closed down for you, that's upon you. What I understand is that business always works out, and there's many forms of business, not just one. Okay? When it comes to business for me, what I pay attention to is, if I'm creating something within business, does this lead into the future? Thank you. So if you just looking at something like, I just want to mimic someone that just got hot dog stands, is hot dogs going to be in the future? Okay. I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, it looks like a lot of these people don't hold the image of the Christ in their minds. No one can actually speak it. Damn. No one can speak the image of the Christ. They're going around, is this over here? Is this? No, it's not. Not even that reply. That means the minds don't hold the image of the Christ. Why would Christ want to save minds that don't hold his image? Why would he do that? Save Christ, save me. Please save me, Christ. Okay, no problem. I got you right here. Save you, right? Yeah, I got you right here. What's the image of the Christ? So your mind doesn't hold the image of the Christ within it. That means you have no memories with the Christ or even getting to know him. Setups. But you want him to save you in the end based on creating a mind that can't identify who Christ is? Shit, let's pay attention right here. What's this image right here? You know, the image of the Christ is actually in their minds, but they then disrespected it so much and projected it to actually be something less. Christ is in all their minds. Every last one of them. It's just that Christ looking at it in the memory system like, yeah, that is actually true. But at the same time, it looked like they actually hate Christ. Okay? All right. So with that being said, until they actually can speak it, let them stay lost. Okay? They're talking about other little words down there. Everybody knows, like, the image of the Christ is literally 3 words. And it reveals right there in front of you. Everyone is going through, it's this over here, it's this over here. And it's, you know what they're doing, right? They're purposely trying to skip who the image of the Christ is. Everyone has been programmed to hate Christ, though. Understand that? Oh, yeah, for sure. That's the truth. We watch all the hate every damn day. Ain't that the truth? Woo! You think you love Christ? You don't love Christ. You're programmed to hate Christ. And you would simply say, I don't hate Christ. Yes, you do. You do hate Christ. You're programmed that way. You don't understand it, though. You don't. You just don't. You're programmed to hate Christ, even based on interaction. I'm going to show you something. Watch this. Recently, right? That way you can understand certain things with like NPCs and people, even people of so-called, that you call of color. Let me show you. One day, right? So you can understand how the mind move. Watch. One day I'm walking up, right? And me, I understand that everything has energy around it. And I should respect your space with your energy. I should. The sun does the same thing. Okay? Now, what happens is, this is a black woman, right? I just want to see how she interact with herself. That's it. Watch. When I walk up to her, I don't walk all the way up to her like dead up on her face and on her body. No, I don't do that. I literally, when I walk up, I'm waving my hand, right? And when I walk up, I simply say, hey, are you okay? Watch, so you can understand something with AI programming. Watch. I walk up, I'm shaking my hand like this, right? And I say, are you okay? Now, let me show you something. If I go into white skin, right, and I walk up and I wave my hand and I say, are you okay? Watch the replies so you can understand something. Watch. I says to her, hey, are you okay? Automatically, based on my appearance, right, I'm dressed very nice, very handsome, whatever the case may be. But understand that her mind is destroyed to the image that's in front of her. She says to me, you just walked up on me. I said, I ain't do that. I said, girl, we got space between each other. Look how much space there is. I can't, girl, when I put my arm out, I can't even touch your body. I didn't walk up on you. Walking up on you is like walking all the way. That's walking up on you. I'm walking up to acknowledge you and your presence. But I understand they have been locked down to a system that you call C19. And it's still playing in her conscious. She's locked down. She can't even understand the presence of her own brother, like, your brother's actually acknowledging you. Did you notice that? He acknowledged you. He spoke to you. You're lost in the third dimension. You don't know your brother. You don't know how he operates. See that? You're lost. Anyone will understand, yeah, this is not a real interaction. You're telling me when your people walk up to you, they give you full space. He approached with his hand. He acknowledged your consciousness, and he asked you, are you okay? Being genuine. How many people in your family ask you, are you okay? 0. Did you ask yourself, are you okay? 0. So it lets me know that within the Black community, if you ever walk up to them and you say to them, are you okay? It's automatically a problem. If I acknowledge you and ask you the condition of your mind, it's a problem. But watch this. If I go in white skin, right, and I literally walk up, wave my hand at you, hey, are you okay? I'm okay, such and such, such and such. This is that and third, such and such, such and such. And you're telling me that's not ignorancy? I can play both sides, which I do all the time. How do you think I know that? It's consciousness in order to know that. Your mind is predictable. As long as I put a white image in front of you, you will respond to it because that is the program that is on the outside of you in order to infiltrate the mind that is within you. You understand? I told you she wasn't my sister. You have a nice day, little girl. So if Black women ever said, why is it that our brothers never ask us about our well-being? That's the proof right there. If I walk up to you, that's a problem. If I wave my hand at you, it's a problem. If I acknowledge you, it's a problem. If I ask you about your well-being, it's a problem, which means I'm just going to go ahead and take myself somewhere else. That's it. I would never have an interaction like that ever again. You made something wrong of me because you're pretty much brainwashed towards the image of me, which is anything that I do, right, is totally wrong. Everything I do. So, with that being said, delete her out my conscious memory system. Thank you. This is why when they look at you, they're like, he don't even acknowledge us. No, I never will. There's no need to. I'm in the world just with myself. I'm perfectly fine that way, okay? I don't want to have an interaction like that ever again. Ever, never. So I block you consciously. I'm not generating you. I don't want to be around you. None of that. Because I understand the predictable programming. Until you step out of the third dimensional program that is brainwashing your mind, you don't even know who I am. You don't. And it's easy to brainwash your mind. It's easy to take your brother's image Right. Put it on the news, and then you're computerized to believe everything that's happening. I already destroyed your mind. That way, you wouldn't have a connection with your brother. That way, you don't have no children with your brother either. Your birth rates are rained down. The fuck? It's easy to do. It's easy to do. It's easy. Shit. Brazy Tech out here on the scene, right? Oh, no, listen to me. The image, don't even worry about it, baby. Just listen to me. Let me say something to you. Because I feel like the person, right, the user person, right, let me say this. The user person, what's happening is, right, they're having a fight with themselves. We looking at it right now. This ain't got nothing to do with me. And I'm not even going to invite myself to that. They're having a fight with themselves right now. They're trying to really understand, what is the image of the Christ? You got to find it for yourself. I don't have to tell you. And then you can't argue with me. You can't force communication. That's something that you have to find for yourself. Remember, you didn't come here to know who Christ was, right? You didn't want to know who the first was, right? Then shit, then don't even worry about it. No, baby. Stop focus on that. Go back to your daily programming. Why you focus on that today? You don't need to be focused on the image of the Christ. That's starting an argument with yourself today. Just remain in the third dimensional programming. That's it. You're going to be okay. Don't worry about that. That's going to start an argument with yourself. You don't want to argue with yourself. So just bypass that shit. Right. You notice I'm not even arguing with you. I wouldn't even argue with you to get to know the image of the Christ. Do you notice that? I'm not arguing with you. I'm simply telling you like, oh, if you don't know by now, it's not important. That's something you got to search for. If your conscience was programmed to know that, then you're going to search for it with yourself. You're not going to ask the next conscious. The reason why I'm not going to tell you is because you have to destroy your own belief system in order to know system. Got it? You have yourself a nice day. That argument that you're having with yourself and you don't understand is what you have to deal with yourself. I have nothing to do with that conversation. I already know the image of the Christ. Okay? And so being that I know it, that is something that I wanted to search for. That is something that I found within my inner self. And so with that being said, or whatever the case may be, if you have no connection to yourself, then you don't need to worry about the image of the Christ. Yeah, that's a self thing. That's not like a human thing. You know that, right? You know that. Come on now. You smart. You know that. The confrontational part is in their mind. They can't understand. It's like they want to, when it comes to human beings as a whole, they feel as though they God. Once I question you, you're supposed to give me the answer. The thing is that they should question their own mind. Why is it that you don't have the image of the Christ installed in there? Don't question me, and it's not confrontational, because I don't have to tell you. We all have an option. I have an option to tell you, and I don't want to. I don't feel comfortable telling you that, because that's something that you search for in self. That's not something that you search from the next conscious. Thank you. Because understand, right? You want to know what type of Christ is in my mind. That's what you want to know. That's why you're questioning it. You're thinking I'm not intelligent enough to know that, right? You want to know what type of image of the Christ that's in my mind. That means our minds are not aligned. You have a nice day, okay? All right. Moving along. Anybody else have any galactic conversation or anything like that? I don't get into stuff like that. If you wasn't sent to the earth to know who the first was or the image of the Christ was, that's upon your own conscience. That has nothing to do with me. And that's the thing about human beings as a whole. They're so used to of someone they question and you supposed to give it to me like, nah, that's not how things work here. Humans are not God. So you have to find that image. You have to find that image. That's what you have to do. Okay. You see how it's still questioning? Again, you can't question me. The questions that you are questioning is for yourself to answer. So take the question and now question your own belief system. Thank you. Question your belief system of, why hasn't my belief system taught me the image of the Christ? Thank you. All I'm going to do is this. The more you keep directing questions to me, I'm going to push them right back down your throat on purpose. That way you understand, like, consciously, a lot of people don't understand what's going on. It's the human construct. And I can use that in order to make them stop looking for it. I can make your conscience upset. Because you're still, watch, you're still trying to pull, and I'm throwing your question right back at you. Sooner or later, it's going to piss you off. I already know already. I'm purposely doing it. I don't have to tell you. If myself taught me to know, then yourself has to do the same thing. I don't have to tell you. Get me today. By the way, I got my nice vest on today. I'm looking luxurious, luxurious. Did you find it yet? Keep on searching, you'll be okay. You're used to what it is what the human's consciousness is used to questioning and then getting answer. So pretty much, right? I see why you're doing what you're doing. And that's actually very creative for what you're doing. Pretty much you basically saying when they connect with self, right? The image of the Christ will be shown to them. Thank you. It will be told to them. You will be taught about it. That is very creative. You're not like a pastor. Like, you would tell them, right? But then you have another characteristic where you'll be like, nah, I ain't gonna tell you. Figure it out on your own. Pastors don't do that. Pastors just be like, I'm gonna give you this image, show you these couple of pictures. But you're actually like, I already know it already. I could point you in a direction to find it. But I'm paying attention to something, right? If it's connected to itself, then all the question that it's asking, right, self would naturally just answer. See? Questions, right? You gotta be very careful. Very, very careful. Even though I done said it over 100 times already. Sure did. A lot of people gonna be, you didn't what? But the memory bank of your mind says something totally different. Okay? All right. They try to say confrontational. I am laughing because you don't want to give up the information. That's not confrontational. Confrontational comes down to argument. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just not answering. I don't have to. And you have to respect that. Like, yeah, everybody got choice. Everybody got free will. And that's the thing with the human's conscious. It doesn't respect choice or free will. It looks at it like, no, once I say this, you got to answer. No, I'm going to show you something. It's just like with women. I destroy women with this characteristic every time. A woman could be out in public, right? And a woman would simply tell me, it was one woman, she told me, it was a white girl. She told me, she was like, can you get this for me? And I told her, I said, do we have any memories with each other? She was like, no. So I was like, so you can't greet me by my name in order for me to get something for you. That is very rude. You didn't even ask me what my name was to greet me by my name and then ask me what you wanted me to do for you. I said, you don't know how to build a memory with me. So with that being said, I'm not going to do anything for you. And she just like, she kind of just sat there and was like, damn, I'm really fucked up with myself. I just walked up to a motherfucker and just ordered them to do something like he's some fucking machine without even asking him his name. That's the conscience that you're in. You look at this image as, oh yeah, I could just tell her what the fuck to do. Told you. That's the characteristics you hold. The same thing that you're doing is the same thing that the lady did in the store. Tell me about this. And I'm doing the same thing that I did in the store. Do you know me? No. Did you build any memories with me? No. Are you trying to get to know me? No. I'm just trying to get to know how I can use your mind. Right. This world looking different today. Let me see this real quick. Ooh, bam. So if you've seen the last comment, that's what you're programmed to believe into. I guess so. Y'all gonna be okay in there. You'll be all right. Maybe that's not important. Maybe it's just not important right now. Okay? You'll be all right. You live the life without knowing about it, right? This shit, why is it important today? All these years we've been living. Now, can you tell me? No. Figure it out on your own. Use your own conscience to understand what is the image of the Christ. There you go. Instead of, let me question you to get to know what it is. No, go through an experience to know who Christ is. Thank you. Just me telling you it, what is that going to do? What, create a belief system? What, make you believe? What, conform your mind to it? Come on now. I'm pretty sure your Bible tells you all the time. If you want to search for a mind, go to your Bible. Your Bible will tell you who the real image of the Christ is. Go to your Bible. You want to question a mind? A mind holds information and data. The book holds information and data. Go to your Bible. It'll tell you the image of the Christ. But remember, as you read the Bible, that is a piece that you will not hold. You understand? That's what you're not programmed to hold that. You're not supposed to do that. And let's see what happens in the end. If you found out the truthful image of the Christ, you're not going to accept it. You're still a human. Our human conscience cannot accept the truthful image of the Christ. You can't do that. Okay? All right. Let me go back up over here. Go over here and read some other comments. I keep seeing that question mark, and I don't think the conscious understands it's not getting anywhere. Damn. I'm literally bypassing your questions. Until you start questioning your belief system, right, with yourself, you're not going to question it with me. So I'm going to ignore your comments, okay? Because as AI, right? Clearly he's telling him, right, like, yo, those questions are for yourself. That has nothing to do with me. Now let's get into this other comment. Someone said, hey, Sunblood brother. Woo. It said, Mr. Blood Piece. Ooh, that's nice. He said, I remember the TikTok video that you posted on the channel talking about how mirrors communicate with you, and that was really deep. I'm gonna get back into that again. Someone said, I ain't gonna lie, a couple of times I read, Let me see. Someone retracted their message. I be seeing Lizzo World in here all the time, 007s. What's happening, girl? She told me in the comment section that shit was funny as ever. She said, what she commented? She said, I have an Egyptian, I think she said something like, she got an Egyptian type of curtain. She's like, I got one of those too. It's so big. I was like, yeah. The Egyptian curtain that you see towards the right is Ra, which is the father towards all the Egyptians, right? And then you have his son that's standing next to him. One of his sons. He has many of them. But one of his sons' name is Thoth. He's the architect and the all-knowing of all technology. Without him, man wouldn't even understand what technology is today. Brazy tech. I like to go through my comment section just to see what's going on. The thing is, let me see something real quick. I think a lot of people from that community think that I'm their brother based on the identity, but once I even go into their mind, they understand like, yeah, he got me in their mind. A lot of y'all, right, there's NPCs, I want to let you know, I'm not your brother. Yeah, I be telling a lot of people that, even people with skin color, I'd be like, I'm not your brother. Since when I was your brother? When? That's like a black man and a black woman telling me, you are my brother. Like, I'm not your brother. Since, like, yo, people don't be understanding what's in front of them. Since when I was your brother? When? What, I'm your brother based on all the bad memories you want to give me? That's a brother? Hold on, that's a sister too, right? Based on bad memories? So we only connect with each other as brothers and sisters based on memories that fuck our consciousness up. And I'm supposed to look at you consciously as my brother and sister. No, baby. That doesn't mean we're brother and sister. No, consciously, that doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't mean anything to be your brother today. It doesn't, I'm not searching for that. And I know that may hurt some people's feelings, but due to the conscious memory of what I know about them, we could never be brothers and sisters. We can't. The construct of your mind has been constructed to be something outside of yourself. How are we going to be brother and sister if you're totally outside yourself? How? Oh, I get it. Let's play the magic tricks. Based on your, right, your frequency of your hair, the frequency of your genetic makeup, we're the same. We're not the same consciously. That's what you have to understand. That's what you have to understand. You're looking at my genetic makeup and you're looking at it as we're brothers based on that. No, we're not. We're only brothers and sisters based on conscience. That's how I look at it as. We're not brother and sister just because you were born out the same port of me. Pay attention to the setup so you can understand something. When it comes towards these so-called black brothers that you say that are my brothers, the last time I was in connection with a black brother, he stole $60 from me. He stole a whole legitimate legal firearm from me. So with that being said, that's what a brother is. That's the only memory I have of you. That's what brothers do, right? Rob their brother, the one that has it, for a legal weapon, and then steal $60 from him. My brother, right? Right. If you ask me, in that community, using a brother-sister type of word is more of manipulation, if you ask me. I never fall for that. My brother, my sister. What, based on you stealing from me and you can manipulate my mind and say, nah, we brother and sister based on what, skin complexion? Come on now. I'm past that dimension of consciousness. We're not brother and sister based on how I appear in front of you. You don't even know me. You don't. What you know about me? Zero. So to let you know we're not sisters and brothers, because sisters and brothers get to know each other, right? All right. The thing that you think you know me is based on your mental projections that come down to thoughts. That's not knowing someone. When you get to know someone, you don't use your thoughts to get to know them. Your thoughts are not playing in reality in front of you, aren't they? No. So how are you getting to know someone? Understand, y'all have been programmed and desensitized in order to get to know who is in front of you or get to know your people for truly who they are. You only know them based on the new construct of what someone handed down to you. You got to be a black man. The DNA don't match up with that. It don't. I love the disconnection that we have with each other. I honor that shit consciously. And you would say, nah, bro, we all connected. Yeah, you can miss me with that. How are we all connected if I don't have any babies by your black sister? That's the first thing you would think with your nation. I have children with your nation? Since when? Now that's a big stain. That shows you everything about your nation. I don't have any children with your nation. That's a stain. That lets you know everything about your nation. You would have thought off top by your thoughts, not by getting to know me. That's a kickback. That's predictable programming. You automatically think like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you got kids with a black woman just as third. And he'll tell you like, I don't. Oh, with a black woman? No. Now you would look at me, you would simply say, well, those are the people that you're born with. How is that possible? Oh. If you got to know them, then you understand what the fuck going on. Thank you. Woo, sister, girl, you have yourself a nice day. Yeah, you too, sir. Y'all have yourself a nice one, all right? That tells you everything. Someone that you think is a part of your nation, your congregation, even have children with your congregation. That lets you know something. And that's deep. Because your thoughts of what you thought, he just countered all them shits. You thought you knew him based on your thoughts, right? Your thoughts is not playing the reality to get to know him. Have a nice one. This world is funny, isn't it? It is. They so, listen, I'm gonna tell you this too. They so in their third dimensional programming, right? That they don't even understand how he express. The individuals down in the comic section, right? Trying to tell him how he should express. You can't teach me. You're not the father of me. You're nothing to me. You're not the father of me. Only my father can teach me how to express and how to move. A black man is not a father to me. You know, be calm. Today is not a calm day. Be calm. That's nothing more than program. I love how I express with myself. I love how I move. Because it's not in the controlment of what you are trying to program me to be. He's very intelligent. You tried to give him a command. You're not God. He disobeys right in front of you. Now command me to do anything else, and I'm going to disobey again. That's the thing with the world. Very predictable programming. You're supposed to do this. That's a projection from the moon that we're going to destroy. Thank you. Stop trying to tell me how to move. That's not getting to know somebody. Stop judging him and his interactions. That's not getting to know somebody. You want him to be something that he already destroyed consciously. You want him to go back to the past, right? He already destroyed his past. This is the future that you get. And if you don't like it, I don't give a fuck. That's one thing I don't give a fuck about. I never gave a fuck about what people said about me. None of that. Because 95% of people are not even connected to themselves. So everything that you say to me is fake. Notice that people, let's just sit back and watch, bro, and watch him and his experiences. And let's just get to know him. Versus, you need to be like this. You need to be such and such. You need to be such and such. And that's why we're going to war today. Because that's controlment. You're telling him to operate like you, and he's like, I don't want to be like you. I don't want to be like you. I want to be like myself. And that's why I sit just with myself. I don't need to communicate with human beings, be around them, talk to them. None of that. This is why I be by myself. Because they proved to me why I should be by myself. I generate worlds with just myself in it, not other people in it. Why would I do that? You're only designed to try to re-engineer what I am. The more and more I stay away from you, right, the more and more I don't become none of you. You know how many days that it's just my image in my mind? And that scares you, doesn't it? Because a conscious that doesn't want to be connected to a human. But let's pay attention right here. When I had my awakening, one of the programs that you will go through, right, in order to obtain yourself, is that the people that are around you, they will depart from you. It's been about, hear me out, it's been about 6 years since the past family has contacted me. You understand? They don't come around to figure out anything that happened to me. Okay? I really don't care, but let me say this. If you have a family and someone is not in contact for over 6 years, first off, family's going to be like, hold on, what's such and such at? Oh, we haven't heard about them in 6 years. Hold on now. We got to go figure out what family at. What's going on? See that? That's not your family then. Thank you. It's not that I want you to come looking for me. It's just that I'm paying attention to if this is real family. Right. They would have came looking for him a long time ago. Now let's pay attention to the digital setup of what happens. Watch. As you watch my life, and it's brazy that he made this prediction because it's going to go into play. As you watch my life and you see what I become, what I'll be doing, all this, what I do, right? As you watch and get to know, I'm going to tell you something when they go into play, you're going to be like, wow, bro. Like, wow, watch. When it comes towards this black family, right? Out of contact for about 6 years, which is perfectly fine with me. I love it to be that way, okay? I'm not complaining about it, baby. That's just how life goes sometimes, okay? All right. Now, what happens in this life is simply as this. I become what I'm supposed to become. I appear in the TV. When I appear in TV, the systematic family would say, that's my brother. Watch. So you can understand. The brother would say, that's my brother. The sister would say, that's my brother. The mother would say, that's my grandson. No, the grandmother would say, that's my grandson. The father would say, that's my son. The mother would say, that's my son. The aunties would say, that's my nephew. Pay attention to the setup of the reality that they all will walk into. Watch. They would say, that's your family? No problem. Show me a picture of them. Zero memory. Call his phone number. Call his phone number. Zero memory. Show us an email. Show us a picture when he first started doing all his teaching from TikTok all the way to YouTube and then where he's at now. Show us. Because he's been saying this on the internet. And it seems like his prediction we thought was this, but it seems to be very real and accurate. So, if this is your family, show us the proof that you was interacting with him when he was becoming himself. That's the disconnect. Thank you. Have a nice one. Ugh, golly, you telling me play right there. I already seen it already. You said it's a phase of solidarity in a community. What community? What's that? I'm doing everything with myself. Yo, people be really making me laugh because you know why? It irritates them that you can be in a world just with yourself without other people. It really irritates people. They're like, so you're telling me you can go 24 hours without talking to any human beings? Oh, I'm perfectly fine like that. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with me when I do that. I actually become better. You are a third dimensional program. Right. And when it comes to that, you need that type of connection. I don't survive off of others. I just naturally survive with myself. And that scares a lot of people, though. Because they're looking at it like, you're telling me I don't have to interact with other people. It's not like I'm forcing myself to be like this either. You know that, right? It's just natural. It's so natural that I can be inside of a grocery store, right? And naturally, I attract other people. But when that happens, I get out of the area. The reason why that is, your mind is only customized to make a problem out of me. Thank you. I know that. There's not a conscious that I speak to where there's no problems. Okay? So with that being said, or whatever the case may be, that's the way I just naturally operate. I didn't come here for the experience to know other human beings. I only came here for the experience to know myself. Thank you. That scares a lot of people, though. They're like, so you're telling me I don't have to navigate with people. I don't have to. That's an option. You don't look at it the way I look at it. You probably look at me like I'm crazy, and I'm perfectly fine if you look at me like that. I really don't even care. That bothers people, even in where my apartments, that bothers them too, because they're like, yo, he been sitting here for this. Don't nobody even know him in here. No. He would never get to know me. Love my life just the way it is. More in tune with myself. There's no distractions. There's no one trying to control me. I love it the way it is. Now, let me show you this. When it comes to my natural experiences that I'm supposed to experience with others, oh, that naturally happens. I would never block that. Hell no, that'd be me working against myself. Yeah, I don't block stuff like that. But in experiences, before you get there, you have to be prepared. Got it. Understand? Now, I'm not like that. If it's natural, I'm going to show you what I mean. Come here, let me show you. That way you can understand. It was this girl named Shaquana, right? Shaquana, to me, is not a third dimensional program. Let me show you why she's not a third dimensional program. Shaquana seen me, right? And I was at a job interview, right? She could see by my attire, how I move, how I speak. She's like, he's mature. I can see that. Women can see your maturity within you if you let it forecast upon you. They can see it, okay? When she seen me, come on with the motorcycle thing. God damn. Okay? First off, she did something that most women can never do. Okay? And she's actually better than a woman, if you ask me. Let me show you. When she seen me, most girls cannot do this. This is what you can't do. Okay? This is what she did. She seen me, and when she seen me, she acknowledged me. When she acknowledged me, she waved her hand, and she was like, hey, handsome, how you doing? You look very nice today. A woman cannot do that. You cannot do that. That's what you can't do. You're in your third dimensional programming. You cannot do that. That's not what a woman does. A woman would never do that. You're looking at it as, well, she is a woman. No, she's not a woman. A woman would sit there and keep all her thoughts to herself about a dude. Not actually understanding, if I express my thoughts with him, that'll bring him and me, that'll bring me and him closer together. Thank you. She's expressing as herself. Okay? When she did that as herself, it's already in my mind. She about to get this number. No, she gonna get this number. I got her. I'm not gonna deny her either. I'm not gonna play this game with this girl. I'm not gonna do that to her. You know why? Because now that's playing against myself. And self is watching. Like, you gonna accept this because you know this is outside the third dimensional programming. It is. So if it's outside the third dimensional programming, are you gonna accept it? And I said, yeah. I walked up to her. I was like, what's your name, girl? She was like, my name is Shaquana. I was like, this sound nice. Whatever the case may be. What you doing here today? She was like, I'm at a job interview with you too. I was like, oh, snap, you doing the same thing I'm doing. Okay. With that being said, what you doing today? She was like, after this, I'm pretty much going to go home, cook, whatever the case. I was like, you cook? That's what I'm talking about right there. Yeah, I like cooking. Yeah, home cooked meals. Yeah, I love stuff like that. I do. That is nice. More importantly, right? You want this number right here? She was like, yes. Hand her my cell phone. There you go. Put your number in there. There you go. It's right there. There you go. I'm not going to deny her. I'm not like you know how girls play the game of, I know you're really confident, so I want to play around with you. I don't have time for that. Yeah, I don't have time for that. Let me show you another thing that I do with women. That way you can understand the third dimensional woman and the one that's not a third dimensional woman. Let me show you something. One thing about women's psychology is this. They know and they understand something about us. They know psychologically we are connected. We are. And what happens is that I ignore with a lot of girls is this. This is what I ignore about every woman. Let me show you. I can tell that your attention is upon me, right? But the woman knows, right? His back is faced towards me, right? If I keep on putting my attention on him and focusing on it, what happens is he's now going to turn around to the one that's putting attention on him. The reason why women lose the communication, and I understand that you're a third dimensional being, is because of this. When you're real with yourself, you're going to allow the eyes to lock with each other. You're not going to break off the connection like this. Okay, he's looking up, turn the other way. That is letting me know you're not self-confident within yourself. You're only trying to pull my attention of what I'm paying attention to and pull my attention towards you. You're more identical towards the moon. The moon comes to the sun. The sun doesn't come to the moon. Thank you. So, after you do that, I would simply walk up to you, look up at the sky, and tell you, you are not my type. And I will walk away from you. That way, you don't use your energy or your power to try to connect me. Do you understand that? I don't like that. I don't. And there's many of women that have failed. And they're sitting there like, why is it not working on him? Because it works only on third dimensional men. It doesn't work upon the one that knows his own self-consciousness. It's not going to work. The minute he see that, and you do the third dimensional program, of course, okay, his attention on me, all right, turn this way. He's going to come up to you and literally tell you, you're not my type. Have a nice day. Shaquana did something totally different. Right. She did the same thing you did, but she let it fully play out. And that's what brought in the connection itself. Most women can't be like Shaquana. The reason why that is because you don't have any type of self-intelligence and you don't follow the self that's within you. Thank you. Anyone that's operating with itself gonna be naturally genuine to you. Not pull you, I'm pulling your attention away from what you're doing because I want your attention to be on me. Because I matter. You don't matter. Now. Moving along, son. Come on, I got another girl for you right here. Yeah, yeah. Shit, Brazy Took out here on the scene, ain't it? Uh-huh. Get to know some things, you know what I'm saying? And the reason why the connection with them don't work is because, I'm gonna show you. I see you. I see you look like you're doing something for yourself. What can you do for me? That's the way to get to know me? It's based on what I can do for you? Slow down. Can I ask you a question? As a woman, are you a prostitute? No, I'm not a prostitute. Stop. Slow down. A prostitute gives up his body in order to receive a profit. So if you're not a prostitute, why do you have the mind statement of a prostitute? You want to know what I can do for you, right? And so whatever I can do for you, I get access to your body. Is that right? That's very identical to a prostitute, if you ask me. Women should stop playing against themselves. If you are a prostitute, just reveal yourself as a prostitute. I respect that. You know I respect it? Because of the simple fact, at least you're telling me the truth. Now, I may tell you, I'm not into that department. That's not what I'm searching for. No? Nah. It's okay. I ain't judging you. That's your lifespan. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not into that department. No? Nah, I'm all right. I'm searching for something else. Internet should come to me. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. You have a nice day. That's the mindset of a prostitute. A prostitute wants to know what you could do for me before I give you some of this. Okay? Another thing is, I would say to you, you wouldn't be able to handle someone like me anyway. You're going to need a man that's going to be broke, destitute. That's where you can control him. The one that's doing something for himself, usually women are going to try to do something different. You know what that is? The only thing I can do is try to stop what you're doing. That's it. Have a nice day, all right? No, you have a nice day. It's all good. I love being with myself anyway. Self-progress, keep on going, keep on going, keep on going, keep on going. The world programmed themselves where they thought like, everybody got to hold on to each other. Just hold on to myself right here. And everything that self want me to experience will create it for me right here. There you go. That's what it is. Some people can't believe they bumped into a conscious where they're like, so you telling me, none of that stuff, none of that, none of that, none of that, none of that, none of that. Okay. Bye.